It's Monday, February 2nd. Today on Your Morning Atlantic, Groundhog Day. Another Monday, another winter storm. We'll have the latest on the impacts and the forecast just ahead.
And February is Black History Month. We'll chat with the folks at Cherrybrook's Black Cultural Center about the importance of the month and find out what they have planned to celebrate. That's in our second hour.
Plus, Interfaith Harmony Week. It's a week full of events that celebrate peace and friendship between all faiths. That and so much more just ahead on the Monday edition of Your Morning Atlantic.
Come on in. It's warm and it's cozy in here. So glad that you're able to join us today. Just 6:01 on this very first show in the month of February. Congratulations, ladies. You made it through January.
Oh, my goodness. I never thought I would.
Well, it almost feels like we're still in January, and it is literally Groundhog Day today, February 2nd. But because of this stormy system that we have, it's a quick one, but it was enough to cancel Shubenacadie Sam's big event at the Shubenacadie Wildlife Park.
Yeah. The fun thing about that is they just called it. And assuming Sam wouldn't be able to see a shadow, so they just said, it's early spring, everybody. We're just gonna take that. So they're cutting out the middleman. We're going right to early spring.
I like that. Yeah, that's okay. Sam can rest, and we get an early spring. I'll take it.
But plenty of winter still. There's plenty of winter till we get to that early spring, Latavia.
Absolutely. So this nor'easter is fast-moving, of course, but it is affecting Nova Scotia and Newfoundland today. Many other areas really seeing only a chance of flurries. Labrador seeing sunshine today, and not seeing flurry activity till this evening, really. So we are going to see a bit of blowing snow. Visibility could become an issue for eastern Nova Scotia and Cape Breton Island. Here's a live look at St. John's. A heavy dumping of snow.
Clouds haven't been through there yet.
No, not at all. So you're definitely going to see the heaviest of those totals in Newfoundland today. We will be seeing additional totals today as well. I'll have those broken down into the full weather forecast. As of right now, it is -2 degrees over in St. John's, Newfoundland. -2 also starting off your day in Sydney. -4 in Halifax. -3 in Charlottetown. -9 in Fredericton. Factor in that wind chill. It is going to feel cooler this morning. Temperatures expected to rise even further into the afternoon. But as of right now, it is quite cold for parts of the region. There is a risk of frostbite for Labrador City. In terms of the watches and warnings in effect, we do have a coastal flooding statement in effect for parts of Nova Scotia today, as well as a coastal flooding statement in effect for parts of Newfoundland. We do have a snowfall warning as well as a winter storm warning in effect for eastern Nova Scotia and Cape Breton Island, as well as a winter storm warning, wind warning, and blowing snow advisory across much of Newfoundland, with an orange level winter storm warning as well. So those totals could get up to 50 centimeters over there. So here's a look at our satellite and radar. As I mentioned, fast-moving system. This nor'easter is bringing some blowing snow, which could cause visibility issues for parts of Nova Scotia and into parts of Newfoundland. Other than that, a bit of flurry activity, a bit of sunshine in the forecast as well. So here's a look at that visibility, that red indicating the heaviest of that blowing snow. So just something to keep in mind when you are heading out on your early morning commute, if you are able to do so. Here's a look at the current wind. So it will be quite strong winds early this morning and then taper off into the afternoon. But as of right now, we are seeing 59 kilometers per hour in Canso, 46 into North Cape, as well as into St. John, New Brunswick. Wind gusts getting up to 70 kilometers per hour in Canso, 59 into North Cape, 65 into Moncton, and 59 in Lunenburg. We'll have a look at your full weather forecast coming up. But first, a look at your local news with Amanda.
Thank you so much, Latavia. And that is where we begin with this nor'easter that's bearing down on parts of eastern Atlantic Canada this morning. Here's a look at Highway 102 near the Halifax-Stanfield Airport. The cancellations and delays are just starting to come in. We can tell you that this fast-moving weather system is impacting flights at the region's largest airport and in St. John's. Marine Atlantic has also canceled sailings. The bulk of the storm is hitting Nova Scotia and Newfoundland. Snowplows have been working on clearing the roads since last evening. As for outages, Nova Scotia Power is reporting more than 100 customers are off the grid this hour due to strong winds. And CTV's Brianne Foley is live in Halifax with the latest on conditions. Brianne, what can you tell us?
Well, Amanda, it's a little windy as we start our day. So, again, that is something to take into consideration. So, right now, the winds have subsided a little bit, but they come gusting in. There we go. On cue. We love when Mother Nature cooperates. Right now, we're not dealing with a whole lot of falling snow. Again, it's just going to be that blowing snow. And crews have been working to clear the roads. So, the road conditions are pretty good as we start our day today, especially on the main roads. But, again, it is going to be a little bit of those slippery conditions as you're driving into work. And sidewalks, well, they're not quite there yet, although we do have people working towards shoveling out and making sure that both parking lots and sidewalks across Halifax region are continuing to be clear for those people who are trying to get out and about to work. Again, the wind is going to be the biggest issue, and those power outages are due to winds. So if that continues throughout the course of this morning, then there may be a few more coming through, which is also why we're seeing some planes grounded this morning. Amanda?
Good to know that the roads are fairly clear, but good note about the sidewalks. Keep that in mind. We'll wait for those to clear up in Halifax. Brianne, thank you so much. CTV's Brianne Foley reporting live on Roby Street in Halifax. And as part of our storm coverage this morning, we want to take a moment to reflect on another storm from exactly 50 years ago today. CTV's Nick Moore with a look at one of the most powerful storms in this region's history, the Groundhog Day gale.
Nobody expected February 2nd, 1976 to be a day that would be remembered in our region for the decades to follow.
There was no warning. I think that was one of the big issues with the storm. The weather forecast was strong winds, and then suddenly this worst event hit.
UNBSJ professor and author Greg Marquis was a grade 12 student at St. Malachy's High in St. John 50 years ago during the Groundhog Day gale. Marquis remembers school being let out early as storm conditions became significantly worse.
We were told to go to the bus, get a bus, city bus at King Square, and it was a pretty harrowing ride home. And we went across Reversing Falls.
The ferocious storm hit at the same time as exceptionally high tides in the Bay of Fundy, leading to a devastating storm surge. Wind gusts near 190 kilometers per hour produced 12-meter waves along the coast.
And a lot of the impacts were something you'd expect out of a hurricane as well. We don't see these very often. In fact, it set a record for low barometric pressure in the state of Maine, which is where the center of the storm moved through.
Materials were ripped from the Brunswick Square Tower in uptown St. John, which was under construction. Fishing boats took on water. Electrical infrastructure crashed to the ground.
We weren't used to the power being off in the city back then for as many days, right?
The covered bridge in Cambridge Narrows, New Brunswick was torn apart. There was widespread damage reported throughout southern New Brunswick and southwest Nova Scotia.
Now, this is what I would consider a once-in-a-multi-decadal type storm system.
One man from St. John was killed after he was swept away trying to secure his fishing shack. Recovery from the gale was hindered by freezing temperatures in the days that followed.
And I think it became one of those, signature events from that era that everyone remembered. I just think it was kind of a bonding thing for a lot of people.
A storm from out of the blue right into maritime history. Nick Moore, CTV News, St. John.
And finally, the snowstorm has forced the cancellation of a Groundhog Day event with the famous prognosticating rodent. This is footage from last year, and that's not what's going to happen this morning. The Nova Scotia government's annual February 2nd event at Shubenacadie Wildlife Park, it's canceled due to the forecasts, which it says could create poor driving conditions for people heading out to the park, which is about 50K north of Halifax. In a statement announcing the cancellation, the government says Shubenacadie Sam will not see her shadow, which according to folklore means an early spring. So Sam, she's staying nice and cozy inside her burrow this morning. Don't head to the Shubenacadie Wildlife Park because the big event ain't happening.
No. And just in case anybody's curious, I actually had a rare opportunity to actually connect with Shubenacadie Sam.
Yes.
We had a little audience together. Sam doesn't live in that little house.
No.
They just put Sam in there for the morning. Beautiful enclosure, hidden away from the public with all these fresh cut greenery in there and stuff like Sam lives a good life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's a good groundhog.
She is a good groundhog.
So she's taking a holiday today.
Yeah.
Even groundhogs have snow days.
I don't remember the last time that's happened. I think that's a very rare event.
Yeah, I think so too. Sometimes if you can't make it in person, they always have the live stream online on their Facebook page as well. So not happening.
Okay, let's talk about wild animals. And this is good news. Polar bears in the wild are getting fatter. So researchers analyzed nearly 1,200 polar bears in Norway over the past 2 decades and found the creatures have gained weight, even as Arctic sea ice has shrunk. Researchers at the Norwegian Polar Institute say the pattern could reflect a rebound in land-based prey that was previously exploited by humans, such as reindeer and walrus. They also suggest that as sea ice retreats, prey like ringed seals may concentrate in smaller remaining areas on ice, potentially making hunting more efficient. So the study says ongoing research is needed as the bear's health may begin to decline as the sea ice continues to melt. But interesting, the headless research they're doing, it's not for the faint of heart.
No. I mean, I'm here to see those cubs.
Yeah, they look so beautiful when they're in their wild environment.
Oh, they are gorgeous. See, this is how you swim in the cold water. Okay, coming up, we're going to have your first look at your national and international news headlines on this Monday morning. And Latavia has more details on this nor'easter, including just how long it's going to last for and when it's going to be fully out of the region. It's not impacting everyone, as you said this morning. I mean, New Brunswickers waking up, like in Moncton, saying, I don't know what you're talking about.
Love it.
Nice calm conditions in the hub city this morning. School likely on there. The forecast is coming up next.
Good morning, Atlantic Canada, and happy Monday. The time now is 6:13. We're taking a live look at Brookville. -3 degrees in your area. We will be seeing a few flurries expected throughout the day today. Weather is brought to you by ALC.ca. We are seeing a warmer start to the day, although factor in that wind chill is going to feel a lot colder for parts of Atlantic Canada. As of right now, it is -10 degrees heading outdoors in Fredericton, -3 into Charlottetown, -4 in Halifax, -2 degrees in Sydney, much colder into Labrador City with -35 and -2 degrees into St. John's, Newfoundland. We do have watches and warnings currently in effect. A coastal flooding statement in effect for this morning. This is for Yarmouth County to Halifax County. We are going to see some high tide, which could result in some storm surge. So something to keep in mind if you are along the Atlantic coast. A coastal flooding statement also in effect for this morning for the south coast of Newfoundland, looking at the high tide around 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. We also have a snowfall warning in effect for parts of eastern Nova Scotia, Cape Breton Island until this afternoon. Could see snowfall nearing 20 centimeters. A winter storm warning also in effect until this afternoon. Could see snow nearing 25, wind gusts between 70 to 90 kilometers per hour. A winter storm warning also in effect for parts of Newfoundland until this afternoon, looking at around 15 to 30 centimeters of accumulation. Wind gusts could get up to 100 kilometers per hour. There's also a wind warning in effect, looking at wind gusts 80 to 100 kilometers per hour, and a blowing snow advisory as well. Could see some poor visibility due to that blowing snow. We do have a winter storm warning, also an orange level winter storm warning in effect until Tuesday morning. Could see around 20 to 50 centimeters of snowfall, wind gusts of up to 100 kilometers per hour. Here's a look at our forecast timeline. So we are seeing this nor'easter affect parts of Nova Scotia, eastern Prince Edward Island, affecting Newfoundland. So seeing that heavier snow, blowing snow as well. So visibility could become an issue. For Prince Edward Island, we are seeing for the most part just flurry activity. And then into the southern region of New Brunswick, also seeing a chance of flurry activity as well. Labrador seeing a bit of flurry activity into the afternoon as well. So into the Maritime region, we start to see this system slowly move out of Nova Scotia and Prince Edward Island. But into this evening, we're still going to be holding on to a bit of flurry activity for eastern Nova Scotia. Cape Breton Island still dealing with some lighter snowfall, and Newfoundland still seeing that heavier snowfall as we head towards early Tuesday morning. If you're wondering about snowfall totals, this is additional to what we've already received. So we are looking at around 1 to 5 centimeters for eastern Nova Scotia, parts of Cape Breton Island, the heaviest being 10 to 15 centimeters into North Mountain. And then for Labrador, we're looking at around 1 to 10 centimeters of accumulation, heaviest being around 15 to 30 centimeters into St. John's, Newfoundland. Here's a look at our forecast today for New Brunswick. A chance of some flurry activity for parts of the province, and then clearing out, leaving either mainly cloudy skies to a mix of sun and cloud. Daytime highs will range from -6 to 0. And for Prince Edward Island, flurries expected throughout the day today, quite light in its activity though. Daytime highs between -3 to -2. Wind gusts of 60 kilometers per hour expected. Then for Cape Breton, eastern Nova Scotia, looking at blowing snow, heavy at times that snowfall, and daytime highs between -3 to +1. For the rest of Nova Scotia, looking at flurries, starting off your day. Could see some blowing snow for parts of this part of the province as well, and clearing out into the afternoon, leaving mainly cloudy skies. Daytime highs between -3 to -1. For Labrador City, -14 degrees today, looking at mainly sunny skies, flurries into the evening, and a high of 1 degree in St. John's, Newfoundland, but also going to see that heavy blowing snow throughout your day today. In terms of our Tuesday forecast, another mainly cloudy day for the most part of the Maritime region, holding on to a bit of flurry activity for parts of Nova Scotia, and then Newfoundland and Labrador, just a cloudier day ahead. For Wednesday's forecast, not too bad in terms of the temperatures. Temperatures slowly warming back up. We are going to see a bit of flurry activity track across parts of all 3 maritime provinces. So that's a look at your weather forecast. We are going to throw things over to Amanda.
Thank you, Latavia. The Prime Minister offered his deepest condolences over the weekend to the family of a New Brunswick-based soldier who died while on deployment in Latvia. In a social media post, Mark Harney said, in part, our country is stronger for his service. The Canadian Armed Forces said gunner Sebastian Halmazin died on Thursday during his first overseas deployment. In a statement to CTV News, Halmazin's father said his son was immensely proud to serve in the Canadian Armed Forces. An investigation into the circumstances of his death is underway. This week, Canada's Federal Defense Procurement Secretary is in South Korea on a mission to boost trade, along with dozens of military contractors. CTV's Judy Trin gives us a preview of what's at stake.
Canada's Secretary of State for Defense Procurement will be visiting South Korea this week to explore opportunities to expand trade and create jobs. The Secretary, Stephen Fear, will be joined by more than 20 CEOs and business executives from Canada's defense, aviation, and shipbuilding sectors. Last fall, Canada entered into a security and defense cooperation agreement with South Korea. That laid the groundwork for more cooperation at the top levels of the military, both politically and economically, and lays the opportunity to promote more trade in the area of security and defense. The biggest military contract on the horizon right now involves the bid to replace Canada's fleet of aging submarines. The Royal Canadian Navy wants to buy 12 new vessels. As part of his trip, Secretary Fear will be visiting Hanwha's shipyard to take a closer look at the KS-3 model that Hanwha is pitching for Canada. Hanwha has partnered with more than 20 Canadian companies to use their technology and materials in the production of their submarines.
It can be delivered in 2032 with the first submarine here, 4 by 2035, and the entire fleet here by 2043. That is unparalleled.
The contract to build and maintain submarines could be worth about $100 billion over 30 to 40 years. Whether it goes to South Korea or its German competitor TKMS, it will be a big part of Canada's plan to double non-U.S. exports by 2035. Judy Trin, CTV News, Seoul, Korea.
A group of separatists in Alberta has admitted they have met with the members of the Trump administration, but they won't say who. CTV's Kamil Karamali has more.
This is a sign of a movement gaining momentum. Week after week, lineup after lineup to sign up for an independent Alberta.
Alberta could be more prosperous and free on our own.
Now, in an interview with CTV's Question Period, a key member of the province's leading separatist group confirming it's held meetings with the U.S. officials.
We're meeting at a very high level. People in our meetings are going, direct.
Stephen Miller?
I'm not going to say. I mean,
why not?
We're not, because we're not. We have an agreement with the people that we're meeting with that we're not disclosing the identities of the people that we're meeting with.
Just that it didn't include U.S. President Donald Trump. The group now looking to create a feasibility study on how an independent Alberta would be able to fund itself.
And put together a complete dossier so that we can just hand it over to whoever the government of Alberta is in power and say, hey, if Ottawa is giving you a hard time, here's an easy way out.
Alberta's premier has refused calls to denounce the movement, and on CTV's Question Period saying she won't do anything to stop her own caucus from signing on.
I don't police the responses of my MLAs. They can sign whatever petition that they want.
Not knowing if any have actually signed the petition, separatists in Alberta need 178,000 signatures by May for their petition to trigger a referendum on the province's independence. But Premier Danielle Smith herself keen on sticking with Canada.
My approach and the approach of our caucus as a united caucus has been to support a sovereign Alberta within United Canada.
But questions now on how long she can keep the juggling act going.
Because you can't, on the one hand, agitate
to have the type of radical change that they're talking about, and on the other hand, say that you care about the Canadian economy and the future of the country.
And to add more fuel to the fire, a U.S. State Department official now confirming they did meet with the Alberta separatist group, but that no commitments were made.
CTV's Kamil Karamali reporting in Toronto. A quick break. When we return, we'll have your must-see moment from our colleagues at TSN. We'll be right back after this short break. Please stay with us.
Move Mornings with Aaron and Peter. Weekday mornings on Move 100. The most fun in the morning. And home of the $1,000 minute. Only on Move 100 Halifax.
Shout out to all prognosticating animals on this Groundhog Day.
Yes, thank you for the early spring.
Thank you for the early spring. All right, it's 6:26 and time now to check in with our friends at TSN Sports Centre for today's must-see moment.
Hello, Laura Dyken here inside the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Sunday. For that, let's head south to the NHL's latest outdoor game in Tampa. The Lightning playing host to the Bruins. And here in the second, Jeremy Swayman not happy with Brandon Hagel poking away at the puck. And once Swayman backs away from that scrum, hey, someone wants in on the action. That would be the other goaltender in this game, Andrei Vasilevsky. They drop him. Ding, ding, ding. Let's go. Second goaltender fight in 2 weeks we've seen in the NHL. The previous one featured the Sharks and Panthers, Nedeljkovic, Bobrovsky. These ones throwing punches, haymakers from Vasilevsky, who earns the takedown. What a scene inside Raymond James Stadium, and there's John Cooper. Not sure he's dressed up as. But that was your must-see moment from Sunday. Tonight on TSN, if you are in the Jets region, TSN 3 has the Jets-Dallas game for you at 7 Central, or you can check out college basketball. We've got a doubleheader over on TSN 5 starting at 5 Mountain Time, 8 Atlantic. That does it for us here inside the Sports Center newsroom. Have a great rest of the day.
This TSN must-see moment brought to you by J.R. Rahe's Furniture and Appliances.
Taking a look at our 3-day forecast, a high of -3 degrees today for New Brunswick. Looking at some chance of some isolated flurries. That will clear out, leaving mainly cloudy skies to a mix of sun and cloud. -3 degrees yet again on Tuesday with sunshine across the province. And then on Wednesday, -2, looking at a mix of sun and cloud with flurries into the evening. For Nova Scotia, a high of -3 degrees today. We do have some blowing snow for parts of the province, a bit heavier snow for Cape Breton Island. Mainly cloudy skies into the afternoon, a high of -3. For Tuesday, looking at a high of 0, mainly cloudy skies. And then on Wednesday, -1, cloudy skies with evening flurries. Prince Edward Island looking at a few flurries today across the island with a high of -3. -2 degrees on Tuesday with cloudy skies. Wednesday, looking at a cloudy day with evening flurries and a high of -1.
Just ahead, the Move Morning Chat. It's Groundhog Day, so we want to know about any superstitions you believe in. Oh my gosh, stop it, people, stop it. That's up in about 15 minutes on Your Morning Atlantic. Oh my gosh, their lives are over.
Hey, good morning. It is Monday, February 2nd, and it is feeling like Groundhog Day. It truly is Groundhog Day.
It is.
But it's feeling like it, especially with another storm system moving through on a Monday. And a reminder, too, for fans of Shubenacadie Sam, that the event at Shubenacadie Wildlife Park in Nova Scotia, just north of Halifax, not happening today because of road conditions and the weather. So Sam, she's staying nice and cozy inside. But she is predicting an early spring
That's great.
That's what the province is saying.
Yeah, I love Groundhog Day because it's early spring or 6 more weeks of winter. I mean, seriously, it's like 6 of one, half dozen of the other, really.
Exactly.
But it's hope.
Yeah.
I love Groundhog Day. It gives us hope. And I know several people whose birthday is on Groundhog Day, so happy birthday to you if that's the case. Now, it is very wintry today.
Yes, it is. We are seeing some blowing snow, which is causing visibility issues for eastern Nova Scotia, Cape Breton Island, and Newfoundland today. So that's where this nor'easter is mostly impacting. For mainland Nova Scotia, also seeing a bit of flurry activity, but it's kind of tapered off at this moment. Here's a look at Yarmouth. Early this morning, -5 degrees starting off your day. We are expecting a chance of some flurry activity that will clear, if you do see any, into the afternoon. A bit colder for parts of Atlantic Canada. As of right now, it is -10 in Fredericton, -3 degrees in Charlottetown, -4 in Halifax, -2 into Sydney and St. John's, Newfoundland. Here's a look at that wind chill. So it is going to feel a lot cooler for many areas, especially those strong winds. It's not helping to warm things up. Here's a look at the coastal flooding statement in effect for parts of the Atlantic coastline of Nova Scotia. This also impacting the coastal flooding statement for the south coast of Newfoundland. We do have a snowfall warning and a winter storm warning for eastern Nova Scotia, Cape Breton Island. Also seeing a winter storm warning, a wind warning, and blowing snow advisory across Newfoundland with an orange level winter storm warning as well for parts of Newfoundland. Here's a look at our satellite and radar. So this nor'easter, fast moving. It is bringing some flurry activity to parts of Prince Edward Island and Nova Scotia. Heavier snowfall is being reported into eastern Nova Scotia, Cape Breton Island, where visibility could become an issue. Same thing for Newfoundland, looking at that heavier snow and blowing snow. So here's a look at that visibility. We're indicating that red is at its heaviest into parts of Newfoundland. So if you are heading out today, make sure to keep that in mind and take your time out on roads. Here's a look at the current wind across the Maritime region. As of right now, 59 kilometers per hour in Canso, 46 in Sydney, 44 in Grand Etang. Wind gusts of up to 72 kilometers per hour right now in Canso, 67 into Sydney, 59 in Grand Etang, and 61 in Lunenburg. We'll take another look at your long-range forecast just ahead, but first another look at your local news with Amanda.
Thank you, Latavia. And that is where we began. Another nor'easter bearing down on parts of Atlantic Canada this morning. Here's a look at Highway 102 near the Halifax-Stanfield Airport. This fast-moving weather system is impacting flights at the region's largest airport and in St. John's as well. Marine Atlantic has also canceled sailings between North Sydney and Port aux Basques. The bulk of this storm is hitting Nova Scotia and Newfoundland. There are school closures and delays in eastern mainland Nova Scotia and Cape Breton. The storm has also canceled Shubenacadie-Sam's Groundhog Day forecast. You can find a full list of impacts on our website, ctvnewsatlantic.ca. Meantime, snowplows have been working on clearing the roads since last night. As for outages, Nova Scotia Power is reporting more than 100 customers are off the grid this hour due to strong winds. And for more on conditions outside, we go to CTV's Brianne Foley, who is live in Halifax with the latest on conditions. Brianne.
Hi, Amanda. Yes, it is a little bit gusty here today. We are still seeing some more falling snow. It's a little bit of that wet snow that's coming down, but road conditions seem to be pretty decent. Now, coming across the McDonald Bridge on the Halifax side, it's a little bit slippery to start, but conditions are improving as we head throughout this morning. And then we are continuing to see a little bit of those road conditions just wet as cars are coming in, but we're still seeing lots of people heading off to work today. The sidewalks over here in Dartmouth aren't too bad either, so we are seeing those clear. Now, as for those flight delays, everything to Newfoundland today has been canceled already. Throughout the course of this morning, we've seen all of the flights to Montreal, Ottawa, and Toronto canceled, save for one Montreal flight by Air Canada. So just make sure you are checking those flights before you get to the airport, because yeah, if you are heading over to Newfoundland today, not going to happen for you because of the strong winds. And Amanda, like you said, that system is moving east, so it's impacting greatly into Cape Breton as well as Newfoundland for this morning.
And that's where we're seeing the bulk of those school closures too. Brianne, thank you so much. We'll check in again with you at 7 o'clock. CTV's Brianne Foley reporting live in Dartmouth outside the McDonald Bridge. HMCS Charlottetown is on its way to the Indo-Pacific region for a 6-month deployment.
A bit nervous. I'm in the Air Force. It's my first time on a ship, and it's the first time I've been deployed.
The ship left the Port of Halifax yesterday, heading to support 2 different missions in the region. Operation Neon will see the crew of Charlottetown helping implement United Nations sanctions against North Korea. Well, it's been one nor'easter after another here in the Maritimes, but in Charlottetown, families are shaking off the winter weather without spending much. CTV's Maria Saru has more.
Blades on ice, a little wobble, and a lot of laughs. Families are bundled up and back outside, making the most of Charlottetown's outdoor rinks after a stretch of heavy snow and winter wind.
The ice is really good.
It helps that skating here or at 5 other outdoor rinks doesn't cost a thing.
I like it because I can play hockey whenever I want.
It lets people get outside in the winter and have some fun.
And there are more free activities. At City Hall, Islanders can borrow snowshoes on a first-come, first-served basis to use through maintained trails. Parks and Recreation Manager Frank Quinn says conditions can change quickly, but the trails are cleared, sanded, and salted after storms.
I'm actually quite impressed at all the activities we are able to do for a smaller city.
The goal is to make it easy and accessible to get moving.
It's exercise, and it's fantastic for your mental health, too. It's so easy just to sit home on your couch and watch TV or on your phone or on your computer.
Back on the ice, it's the same idea. Zero cost, low pressure activities with a high payoff. There's lots more to do off the ice, from cross-country skiing to winter biking and hiking, plus plenty of indoor options too for some frugal fun. Maria Saru, CTV News, Charlottetown.
Thank you, Maria. Yeah, way to get outside, enjoy the conditions, and not costing you a thing. Hello, win-win-win.
Frugal fun, our favorite. Okay, this is the opposite of frugal. The achievement is no longer a far-off dream for Taylor Swift.
Say you'll remember me, standing in a nice dress, staring at the sunset, babe.
So the music video for Swift's song Wildest Dreams has hit 1 billion views on YouTube. It first premiered in August of 2015, starring Scott Eastwood. The track is from her 5th album, 1989, and it's now the 6th music video by Swift to join the billion views club.
Just want to point out, Scott Eastwood, chef kiss.
Yeah.
He's in the movie The Longest Ride. I think it's one of those like Nicholas Sparks books.
Okay.
That movie's incredible.
Very romantic,
yeah.
right?
Yeah. I never knew he was Clint Eastwood's son.
I didn't know that either.
Wow.
I knew that now.
Yeah, I learned
because
that like
told me right this very second.
Like, what?
Well,
when you
go ahead.
Oh no, just when you said Eastwood, I was like, well, that is my assumption.
That's so cool. Anyway,
I didn't put it together.
Billions of views and billions of dollars. Taylor Swift doesn't need to have frugal fun, but
no,
we still like it.
Hey, and speaking too, the Grammys were last night.
Yep.
Still ahead, we're going to have your entertainment headlines, but coming up next, it is the Move Morning Chat. And today we want to know, what superstitions do you believe in? Do you have an issue with 13th if it runs on a Friday? Do you believe in Groundhog Day? Do you smash those expectations? That conversation's up next.
Welcome back. The time now is 6:43. We're taking a live look at Fredericton. Minus 11 degrees starting off your day. We will be seeing a few flurries starting off the day as well before clearing out, leaving mainly cloudy skies. Not too bad starting off the day, a bit warmer even than we saw last week. As of right now, it is minus 3 degrees heading outdoors in Charlottetown. Early this morning, minus 4 degrees in Halifax, minus 2 in Sydney and into St. John's, Newfoundland. A coastal flooding statement currently in effect for Yarmouth County to Halifax County for this morning. So we are going to expect some high tides where we could see some storm surge. Same thing goes for parts of the south coast of Newfoundland. We do have that coastal flooding statement also in effect. A snowfall warning in effect for parts of eastern Nova Scotia, Cape Breton Island. This is until this afternoon. Could see snow nearing 20 centimeters of accumulation. A winter storm warning also in effect until this afternoon. Could see snow nearing 25 and wind gusts between 70 to 90 kilometers per hour. A winter storm warning also in effect for parts of Newfoundland until this afternoon. Could see around 15 to 30 centimeters of accumulation. Wind gusts of up to 100 kilometers per hour. With the wind warning also in effect until this afternoon, 80 to 100 kilometers per hour expected, and a blowing snow advisory as well. Orange level winter storm warning also in effect for parts of Newfoundland until Tuesday morning. Looking at snowfall between 20 to 50 centimeters of accumulation. Wind gusts of up to 100 kilometers per hour. So here's a look at our current system. This nor'easter is taking effect in most of Nova Scotia, parts of Prince Edward Island, heaviest being into Cape Breton Island and Newfoundland. And we are going to see a bit of flurry activity tracking across the remainder of the region. Into the afternoon, much of the same. We slowly start to see the system move out. Even though it's a fast-moving system, still going to be seeing a bit of flurry activity for parts of the region, and then completely moving out of Nova Scotia for the most part into this evening, taking us into early Tuesday morning. Still seeing the heaviest of that snowfall situated across Newfoundland, and seeing some light flurry activity for parts of Labrador and into parts of Nova Scotia. If you're wondering about snowfall totals, the heaviest being 10 to 15 centimeters into North Mountain. This is additional to what we've already received, as well as 1 to 10 centimeters across parts of Labrador, and the heaviest being 15 to 30 centimeters for St. John's, Newfoundland. Here's a look at our forecast today for New Brunswick. Bit of flurry activity for parts of the province early in the morning. Clearing out, seeing either mainly cloudy skies to a mix of sun and cloud. Daytime highs will range from -6 to 0, actually, wind gusts of 50. Prince Edward Island looking at highs between -3 to -2 degrees. Flurries expected throughout the day. Quite light in its activity, though. For Cape Breton, eastern Nova Scotia, looking at heavy blowing snow expected. Daytime highs ranging from -3 to +1. And for the rest of Nova Scotia, a bit of flurry activity starting off your day, clearing out, leaving mainly cloudy skies, and daytime highs ranging from -3 to -1. For Labrador City, lots of sunshine today, but we will be seeing flurries arrive into the evening, a high of -14 degrees. 1 degree into St. John's, Newfoundland, also going to see that heavy blowing snow. Here's a look at our Tuesday forecast. Temperatures still quite mild, but a bit cooler into the morning with that wind chill. We are going to see a bit of flurry activity return for parts of Nova Scotia. Other than that, seeing a bit of sunny breaks into the afternoon, and then increasing cloudiness into Wednesday's forecast. Flurries return for parts of all 3 maritime provinces. And then into the overnight hours, we'll start to see flurries move back in across much of the Maritimes and into parts of Newfoundland. That's a look at your weather forecast. We'll throw things over to the Move Morning Chat.
It's the Groundhog Day edition of the Move Morning Chat. It's the Groundhog edition of the Move Morning Chat. And come on, I had to take it. We're talking about superstitions that you believe in. You two take it away. What's a superstition you believe in?
Well, yeah, I mean, Groundhog Day, it's one of those ones that we all kind of buy into, especially when it goes the way we want it to. Yes. We're like, oh, yes, we listen to the groundhogs across the world. But superstitions you believe in. For me, I've always believed in itchy hands. Have you heard of this superstition?
No.
Itchy hands. Okay, so it means different things depending on which hand is itchy. Your right hand means you're coming into money. Your left hand, if it's itchy, you're losing money. So if you've got an itchy hand, it's either a really great thing or a really bad thing. I'm either really excited that I'm going to have a bunch of money, or I'm freaking out that I'm about to lose all of my savings.
And you actually buy into that one? You think
yes.
This is real?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll give you one that's, I think, very popular in the Maritimes. I'm not sure throughout the country. I don't know. Do you know the Crows poem? As you see one crow sorrow, 2 crow joy,
yes.
3 crow a letter, 4 crow a boy, 5 crow silver, 6 crow gold, 7 crow a secret never to be told. It goes on and on and on. But the only really important one there, and of course, you can count the crows and say, okay, I wonder what's going to happen. But the only one that I really pay attention to is one crow. Because one crow is sorrow, and you don't want that. So when you see one crow by itself, you automatically, immediately have to say, God bless one black crow. And that takes away the powers of that crow.
Wow.
Okay?
Wow.
I know.
Okay.
I'm pretty deep into this.
Oh, my goodness. I have a bird omen. So.
You haven't heard of it?
I have a bird omen. Every time I see birds, I end up moving.
There's a lot of birds.
We see birds a lot. Please don't move again.
It's a bird.
Stop moving, Brianne.
This explains so much.
This explains so much. There was one when I lived in China. It was putting your purse on the ground means all of your money is going to go out of your purse. I mean, all of my money goes out on a regular basis, but the big one for me is walking under a ladder. I refuse to walk under a ladder. That's like my superstition. I will always go around for
general safety issue.
Not even that.
Okay, I know some of us are theater lovers, so I'm wondering how many people know this one. It's putting your shoes on the table or on a high surface. To me, that means bad luck, and it's also dirty. But there's something about having like shoes raised up high that I really don't like, and it makes me uncomfortable. So when I see other people do it, I'm like, don't be weird and mention it. Like, ask them to take their shoes off the table. But it's something I never ever do, no matter how full my hands are. It just feels unnatural. It feels wrong.
Yeah. There are all kinds of theater superstitions, too, about, whistling while you're on stage or saying the name of
you said it.
Scottish.
You never say Macbeth in the theater. We're not in the theater.
Yeah. Well, you just said.
She just said
it.
the Scottish
Call it the
play.
Scottish play. Yes.
Oh my gosh. Okay, all right.
All right. Well, we want to know what your superstitions are that you believe in. So we are going to ask you to send us a text to 10400 and let us know what superstition you believe in. There are some doozies out there, so we'll go back and circle around later in the show.
Welcome back. The time now is 6:54. We're going to head over to Hollywood and take a look at your entertainment headlines.
The stars were out for the 68th annual Grammy Awards at the Crypto.com Arena in L.A. Trevor Noah returned to host for his 6th and final time. Wildflower by Billie Eilish. Song of the Year went to Billie Eilish's Wildflower. Olivia Dean was named Best New Artist. And Bad Bunny making history with his Album of the Year win, marking the first time a Spanish-language album won the top prize.
I want to dedicate this award to all the people that had to leave their homeland, their country to follow their dreams.
There were touching tributes honoring the late Beach Boy Brian Wilson and the late rocker Ozzy Osbourne. Looking ahead to next year, the Grammys are coming to ABC, Disney Plus, and Hulu in 2027. Speaking of musicians, Mariah Carey was honored this weekend as MusiCare's Person of the Year for her musical achievements and philanthropy. The Foo Fighters, Jennifer Hudson, and John Legend among those who paid tribute. The event ended with a group performance of Carey's holidays classic, All I Want for Christmas Is You.
I'm your boss. You work for me.
We're not in the office anymore, Bradley. There's a new winner at the box office. The survival horror film Send Help, starring Rachel McAdams, about a woman and her boss who becomes stranded on a desert island after a plane crash, took top honors with $20 million in revenue. It was followed by the sci-fi horror film Iron Lung. The documentary Melania, about First Lady Melania Trump, came in third with $7 million. And happy birthday, Shakira. The Colombian pop star is 49. That's what's happening in Hollywood. Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Let's look at your top entertainment headlines. And of course, Canadian iconic actress Catherine O'Hara passed away over the weekend as well. Happening now in local news, another Monday, another nor'easter. This one, it is fast moving and it's impacting eastern parts of Nova Scotia and Newfoundland. We'll have more on the impacts in the forecast just ahead. Also, it is Groundhog Day. Not only does it feel like it, it truly is. It's February 2nd, but don't expect to see Shubenacadie Sam. The province has canceled this morning's event at the park due to road conditions. Plus, in New Brunswick, Riverview's Winter Carnival is well underway, and on Saturday, a pair of snowshoe artists created a sight best seen from far away. We'll have that story coming up in your local news headlines right after this break. Please stay with us. We'll be right back. It's Monday, February 2nd. Today on Your Morning Atlantic, Groundhog Day, another Monday, another winter storm. The latest on the impacts on eastern parts of Nova Scotia and Newfoundland just ahead.
And it's African Heritage Month. We'll chat with Russell Gross live from the Black Cultural Centre in Cherrybrook about the events they have planned this month. That and so much more coming up on the Monday edition of Your Morning Atlantic.
Good morning, Atlantic Canada. Happy Monday. The time now is 7 o'clock. As you mentioned, another Monday winter storm.
Yeah.
On repeat, you know, for viewers in New Brunswick, they're like, I don't know what you're talking about.
like
a few
what?
flurries, Western PEI, just like maybe some flurries. But yeah, because this is a fast-moving one.
Yeah.
Started Sunday night, and it's really impacting eastern Nova Scotia, Newfoundland, Cape Breton.
Well, I was in St. John over the weekend.
Yes,
Our friends in New
lovely.
Brunswick have plenty of snow, and all the talk was how cold it was over the weekend in New Brunswick. So
wow.
they're dealing with winter. Just maybe they got, even New Brunswick got spared this particular
time.
Yes. But no, she's a doozy. She's a doozy.
Yeah, the heaviest of this system was actually overnight for mainland Nova Scotia and the southwestern region of the province. By this morning, looking at a few flurries for those parts of Nova Scotia.
Wow.
Like you mentioned, eastern Nova Scotia, Cape Breton Island seeing the heaviest of this system, especially Cape Breton Island, and then parts of Newfoundland as well. So here's a live look at Truro. As of right now, it is -5 degrees in your area, and we are expecting a few flurries to continue. Snow heavier for parts, like I mentioned, of Cape Breton and Newfoundland, so keep that in mind. Visibility could become an issue. As of right now, it is -11 degrees in Fredericton, -3 in Charlottetown, with -4 in Halifax, -2 degrees in Sydney, -35 in Labrador City, and -2 into St. John's, Newfoundland. Here's a look at that wind chill. So it is going to feel cooler this morning, especially with the wind picking up for parts of the Maritime region. We do have that bite still remaining in the air for parts of the region, as well as a risk of frostbite into Labrador City. A coastal flooding statement in effect for Yarmouth County to Halifax County. We also have a coastal flooding statement in effect for the south coast of Newfoundland, a snowfall warning and a winter storm warning for eastern Nova Scotia, Cape Breton Island, as well as a winter storm warning in effect for parts of Newfoundland, a wind warning and a blowing snow advisory with an orange level winter storm warning also in effect, seeing the heaviest of that snowfall. Here's a look at that satellite and radar. So this nor'easter is tracking across eastern Prince Edward Island, parts of Nova Scotia, and into Newfoundland. So we are going to see visibility become an issue for parts of Cape Breton, as well as into Newfoundland for the most part. That red is that heavier snowfall indicated. Also seeing some breezy wind across the Maritime region. As of right now, 59 kilometers per hour in Canso, 46 in Sydney, 44 in Lunenburg. Wind gusts of up to 72 kilometers per hour in Canso, 67 into Sydney, 61 in Lunenburg, and 59 in Grand Etang. We'll take another look at your long-range forecast, but first a look at your local news with Amanda.
Thank you so much, Latavia. And that is where we begin our newscast, the impact this storm is having on the region. Here is a look at Highway 102 near the Halifax-Stanfield Airport earlier this morning. Now, this fast-moving weather system, it's impacting flights at Halifax-Stanfield and in St. John's. Marine Atlantic has also canceled sailings between North Sydney and Port aux Basques. The bulk of this storm is hitting Nova Scotia and Newfoundland. There are school closures and delays in eastern mainland Nova Scotia and Cape Breton. You can find a full list of delays and cancellations on our website, ctvnewsatlantic.ca. Meantime, roads fairly clear. Snowplows have been working on clearing the roads since last night. As for outages, Nova Scotia Power is reporting more than 100 customers are off the grid this hour due to strong winds. Out in the elements for us in the HRM this morning is CTV's Brianne Foley. Brianne, how are conditions where you are right now?
Yeah, so Amanda, things are actually not too bad. We are seeing a little bit more falling snow, and we've seen a really big buildup of snow over the course of this evening. If you take a look at this bike, it's fully covered in a fresh layer of fluffy snow. But like you said, crews have been working to clear the road conditions. Now, if you are taking side roads this morning, do be a little bit careful, because those aren't the major concerns as we start the day. If we take a look here at Spring Garden Road, we are seeing that those conditions are pretty clear to start our day, and that's what crews have been working on. So if you do have to take a side road, just make sure you take that into consideration. As we take a look at sidewalks, though, pretty clear. We did see a crew coming through. They said good morning. They were jolly. They were working those shovels throughout the course of this morning. And so we are seeing clearer sidewalk conditions, especially on the major routes here like Spring Garden Road. So again, not too bad as we start our day. But again, you are going to have to take that wind into consideration, because it's feeling a lot colder out here than what that -3 is saying right now.
That's good to know, Brianne, and also some disappointment for some students in the Halifax area, most of them heading to school just on a 2-hour delay. Thanks, Brianne. We'll check in again with you a little later. And the snowstorm has forced the cancellation of a Groundhog Day event with the famous prognosticating rodent. The Nova Scotia government says the annual February 2nd event at Shubenacadie Wildlife Park is canceled due to the forecast, which it says could create poor driving conditions for people heading to the park, which is just about 50K north of Halifax. In a statement announcing the cancellation, the government says Shubenacadie Sam will not see her shadow, which according to folklore means an early spring. Finally, Riverview's Winter Carnival. It's well underway, and on Saturday, a pair of snowshoe artists created a sight best seen from far away. CTV's Derek Haggett shows us more.
It was sunny and cold Saturday with no wind whatsoever at Riverview's Mill Creek Nature Park. Perfect conditions for Nova Scotia snowshoe artist Matt Robinson.
Well, 5 years now, I guess it's a tradition, and they ask us back every year, and we're happy to come back every year.
Robinson has created a 50-meter diagram of sustainable art on top of a frozen reservoir.
You can't afford mistakes when you have a perfect canvas. If you veer off course, it's there. You can't fix it. Mother Nature makes a perfect canvas. You step on it, it's marked.
It looks complex, but Robinson and his artist partner Alan Cruz do a lot of pre-planning, and using some rudimentary tools, the plan is executed to perfection.
I'm glad to be here. I've seen them do it for the last 5 years, and I think it's amazing.
So does the town of Riverview. It first noticed Robinson's work during the pandemic, when it was looking for different activities for the carnival that could go ahead during COVID.
You know, you get your usual users, but we also get folks that are just interested in art, or, we get a lot of folks that have never been in the park before, too, so it's a great draw for Riverview and for Mill Creek.
Dozens stop by to have a peek from atop Mill Creek's impressive lookout point.
It's fantastic. It's pretty. Looks great in the sun.
Firefighters checked the ice conditions first to make sure it was safe. It took around 4 hours to complete this year's design. The snowshoe art will be on display here at Mill Creek Nature Park for as long as Mother Nature will allow it. So if you want to see it for yourself, you better come down before the next snowfall. Derek Haggett, CTV News, Riverview, New Brunswick.
Yeah, talk about retracing your steps there.
Wow,
So
that's
crisp.
beautiful.
So
Beautifully done.
cool. I certainly wasn't in Riverview over the weekend, but we were just walking across a frozen lake, like as a family, just having some fun exploring. It's nice to get out there and enjoy it. But yeah, great art that they're doing.
Oh, yeah. All right, well, let's turn our attention higher. We'll look way up. Sensors used to monitor activity underground may be able to track objects flying in space. Space junk is a big problem, especially because it's hard to figure out where these pieces land. So researchers in the UK are now developing a technique using sensors that record earthquakes, and these sensors can calculate how past space junk fell to Earth to predict future impact. Because you would not want to be just walking around and have a big old piece of space junk fall on you.
It looks like a bunch of bugs you want to
I know.
swat away.
It's much bigger, though. I think. Yeah, way bigger than a bug.
Oh, way bigger. All right, let's take a break here and head on over to Cape Breton, where that's one of the areas really being hit by the storm. Look at all the fresh snowfall in Bedeck this morning.
Sean Bedeck always makes me feel warm and cozy. Even though it's cold, it just looks like, I don't know, pretty.
Good day to stay cozy inside and watch the forecast. That's up next.
What is that? What is...
Good morning, Atlantic Canada. The time now is 7:12 on your Monday morning. We're taking a live look at St. John, New Brunswick. Starting off at -8 degrees, we do have a chance of some isolated flurries before clearing out. Weather is brought to you by ALC.ca. A bit of a cooler start to the day for parts of Atlantic Canada at least. -11 degrees starting off your day in Fredericton, -3 in Charlottetown with -4 in Halifax, -2 degrees in Sydney, and -1 over in St. John's, Newfoundland. A coastal flooding statement in effect for Yarmouth County to Halifax County for this morning. Something to keep in mind if you are along the Atlantic coast. We do have a coastal flooding statement also in effect for the south coast of Newfoundland for this morning. And then a snowfall warning in effect for eastern Nova Scotia, Cape Breton Island until this afternoon. Could see snow nearing 20 centimeters of accumulation. A winter storm warning also in effect till this afternoon. Could see snow nearing 25 centimeters and wind gusts of up to 90 kilometers per hour. A winter storm warning also in effect for parts of Newfoundland until this afternoon. Could see around 15 to 30 centimeters of snow. Wind gusts 80 to 100 kilometers per hour with a wind warning also in effect and a blowing snow advisory. An orange level winter storm warning also in effect until Tuesday morning. Could see around 20 to 50 centimeters of snowfall, wind gusts between 80 to 100 kilometers per hour. So here's a look at that nor'easter tracking across parts of Nova Scotia, eastern Prince Edward Island, and the heaviest being also into parts of Newfoundland. So most of Newfoundland, poor visibility, heavy blowing snow expected. Same thing goes for Cape Breton Island. And then for Labrador and New Brunswick, only looking at a few flurries, clearing out into the afternoon for New Brunswick, seeing a bit of sunshine as well into the afternoon. So for this evening, much of the same. We see the system really clear out. Just a few flurries lingering for parts of eastern Nova Scotia and Cape Breton Island. The heaviest of the system still situated into Newfoundland until Tuesday morning. If you're wondering about snowfall totals, this is additional to what we received overnight on Sunday into early this morning. Looking at around 1 to 5 centimeters for eastern Nova Scotia. The heaviest being North Mountain at 10 to 15 centimeters and 1 to 10 centimeters of accumulation for parts of Labrador. Heaviest being St. John's, Newfoundland at 15 to 30 centimeters. Here's a look at our forecast today for New Brunswick. For the southern region of the province, looking at a chance of flurries that will clear, leaving mainly cloudy skies to a mix of sun and cloud. We are going to see wind gusts of 50 kilometers per hour with daytime highs between -6 to 0. Prince Edward Island looking at flurries expected throughout the day today, highs between -3 to -2, wind gusts of 60 expected. For Cape Breton, eastern Nova Scotia, looking at highs between -3 to +1. Heavy blowing snow expected throughout your day. And then for the rest of Nova Scotia, a bit of flurry activity early this morning will clear, leaving mainly cloudy skies into the afternoon. Highs between -3 to -1, wind gusts of 70 kilometers per hour. For Labrador City, a high of -14 degrees, lots of sunshine throughout your day. Flurries arrive into the evening, and a high of 1 degree for St. John's, Newfoundland, looking at that heavy blowing snow expected. Tuesday's forecast, another cooler day for our daytime highs, a bit warmer for parts of Nova Scotia. We are going to see a bit of flurry activity return as well, but for the most part, just a cloudier day ahead. And then Wednesday's forecast, a few flurries into the afternoon, but into the evening, we're going to see flurries move in for parts of the Maritime region and parts of Newfoundland. That's a look at your weather forecast. We'll throw things over to Amanda for your national and international news headlines.
The Prime Minister offered his deepest condolences over the weekend to the family of a New Brunswick-based soldier who died while on deployment in Latvia. In a social media post, Mark Carney said, in part, our country is stronger for his service. The Canadian Armed Forces said gunner Sebastian Halmazine died on Thursday during his first overseas deployment. In a statement to CTV News, his father said his son was immensely proud to serve in the Canadian Armed Forces. An investigation into the circumstances of his death is underway. Farmers here in Atlantic Canada are welcoming these winter conditions. CTV's Paul Hollingsworth explains why they're looking at big snow accumulations as a benefit, not a hindrance.
As this harsh winter continues, making it a challenge for many to get around or just be outside, meteorologist Jim Abraham sees an upside for farmers.
The good news is we're getting a snowpack.
Farmer Alan Melvin says heavy snowfall can be restorative, giving crops a better chance at growing later this year. That's particularly helpful following last summer's record-setting drought.
Some soil protection, some crop protection for things like winter wheat that are in the ground. And then that slow snow melt.
When the weather warms, the dry soil could be replenished in time for Nova Scotia's growing season.
The snowpack is actually more important to farmers and wells and the water resources than heavy rain.
In the winter, when the ground is hard, rain runs into the ocean and rivers, but stored water in the snow melts and runs off slowly, directly into the soil.
And the groundwater amounts increase, and everybody's happy.
Including Jordan Yamey, who lost 30% of her bean crops in 2025 because of dry conditions.
If there's a slow snow melt, that hopefully will replenish the water table and help out some of those wells and some of those ponds.
It would be welcome news for nervous farmers still reeling from their losses and crop damages following a dangerously dry summer. Paul Hollingsworth, CTV News, Halifax.
Thank you, Paul. And Prime Minister Mark Carney shared a message of support and solidarity to kick off Black History Month. Carney's statement reads, in part, today marks the beginning of the 30th Black History Month in Canada under the theme Honoring Black Brilliance Across Generations, from Nation Builders to Tomorrow's Visionaries. The Prime Minister goes on to say we affirm our responsibility to back words with action, deliver opportunity, and build a country where racism has no place. Quick break here on CTV's Your Morning Atlantic. When we return, we head to the Black Cultural Centre in Cherry Brook, Nova Scotia, to check on events for the next month. We'll be right back. Please stay with us.
Move Mornings with Aaron and Peter. Weekday mornings on Move 100. The most fun in the morning. And home of the $1,000 minute. Only on Move 100 Halifax.
Welcome back. It's 7:22. Now, February is Black History Month, and in Nova Scotia, it's known as African Heritage Month. The origins of the month go back 100 years to 1926, when historian Dr. Carter G. Woodson established Negro History Week to honor the achievements and contributions of African Americans. Russell Gross is the CEO of the Black Cultural Centre in Cherry Brook, Nova Scotia, and he joins us this morning. Good morning, Russell.
Good morning, Crystal.
So glad to have a chance to chat with you. How's the weather where you are right now?
Well, it's starting to clear up. I guess we never get hit it as hard as we were forecasted to, so that's fortunate for a Monday morning.
For sure, for sure. Well, we're very happy you're able to join us live right now. And I know this year's theme for African Heritage Month in Nova Scotia is Strength and Unity, moving forward with purpose, prosperity, power, and progress. Powerful theme. What do those words mean to you, Russell?
Well, I think this year's theme, the 2026 theme, really speaks to the aspects of community unity. And the fact that, you know, Nova Scotia had 52 historic Black communities, and how those communities created, a reasonable life and contributed to society was through the fact that they were unified.
Now, some of the events happening at the Black Cultural Centre are happening this month. I wanted you to just highlight some of the things that you have planned.
Yeah, there are a number of events that are planned from one end of the province to the other. And so what's really remarkable this year is that there are a lot of towns and cities and municipalities across the province of Nova Scotia that are holding launches and proclamations. And it's just a wonderful mix of community and grassroots events to celebrate the culture. And there's a major website that we have on the Black Cultural Centre's website that is a community calendar that has a wonderful list of these events. And we invite all to celebrate and honor and to have a time to really look at the month and to reflect on the contributions of those that have paved the way from the Black communities.
Well, we just saw some images of the launch last week before the month actually began. I've had the pleasure of visiting the Black Cultural Centre in Cherry Brook. There are some fantastic permanent exhibits there. I think is the centre open for the public to come visit any time?
It is, yes. So typically with responding to not worrying about the weather, where I typically open 9:30 to 4 o'clock Monday to Friday, and we have some programs that are happening in the evenings as well. And one of the things of note is that we have some national traveling exhibits on our second level, one that is called Slavery in Canada, and it's a really poignant look at the business of slavery here in Canada and how the community dealt with that and how adverse the community was. And then, of course, we have our permanent exhibits, as you mentioned, permanent exhibits that celebrate people like Viola Desmond, Number 2 Construction Battalion, Able Seaman William Hall, all popular names, but, you know, people might not know the full extent of their story and their history.
Okay, well, I've read particularly the permanent exhibit about Black history and faith in our region. Really, really powerful and moving. Is there anything else you wanted to? I know we have tons of exhibits. For example, the big event happening at Pier 21 this Friday with Jamila. Is there anything else you want to say to our viewers before we go? We've only got about 20 seconds left, Russell.
Yeah, well, we welcome everyone during the month of February to take stock and to realize the long-serving Black community that served in the province of Nova Scotia, that is multi-generational, over 400 years of history in this province, foundational, quite honestly. And think about the theme and think about how we can all become allies and we can become unified as one people.
Wonderful, Russell. Thank you so much for your time this morning.
It's been my pleasure, and we hope that enjoy the month of February, that, it's presence of mind of the importance of Black history and culture.
Definitely. We have put a link to the Black Cultural Center on our website, too, so people can get more information, hopefully see you in person in the coming days and weeks. We're going to turn our attention now over to Latavia in the Weather Center.
Thanks, Crystal. Taking a look at New Brunswick first, a high of -3 degrees. We do have isolated flurries expected for the southern region. Other than that, that will clear out, seeing sunny breaks today. -3 degrees on Tuesday, mainly sunny skies with increasing cloudiness into the afternoon. Then on Wednesday, -2 degrees is your daytime high, a mix of sun and cloud with flurries into the evening. For Nova Scotia, a high of -3 degrees today. We do have flurries for much of the province. For eastern Nova Scotia, Cape Breton Island, seeing blowing snow today. For Tuesday, 0 with mainly cloudy skies across the province. On Wednesday, a high of -1, cloudy skies with evening flurries. Prince Edward Island, -3 degrees today. We do have flurries across the island. On Tuesday, -2, cloudy skies. And then on Wednesday, looking at cloudy skies, evening flurries with a high of -1.
Just ahead in this half hour, Interfaith Harmony Week. We'll get the details on a week that hopes to foster peace and friendship between all religions. That's coming up here in the Monday edition of Your Morning Atlantic.
Hello, it's 7:31. Halfway through the show on this Monday, February 2nd. Congrats, we're into a brand new month. And I know Shubenacadie and Sam decided to just not show up at all today and just call it with an early spring. We'll take it. So even if there were 6 more weeks of winter, that would put us at mid-March before we started to see spring-like signs. I'd say that's about on track.
Yeah, that's about on track. March is like
too far away.
That's not exactly. And I have noticed that the afternoon light is lasting longer into the evening.
Yes, it is. It is.
My drive home from New Brunswick was so much easier because we had the bright light well into the, it started, I think it was 5:30, it was still light out.
It's really nice.
Yeah. Like bright light. So anyway, that's a bright light in a challenging time weather-wise.
Yeah, we do have a nor'easter tracking across parts of Atlantic Canada today, causing some visibility issues for parts of the region. Something to keep in mind if you are headed out on an early morning commute. Here's a live look at Peggy's Cove, a very cloudy, gloomy start to your day. It's cold as well, so keep that in mind when you are heading out as well. This morning, we are seeing a bit of flurry activity for parts of the region, but for the most part, that heavier situated storm is focusing in on Cape Breton Island and Newfoundland today. Here's a look at our current temperatures. -11 degrees as you head outdoors in Fredericton, -3 for Charlottetown, -4 early this morning in Halifax with -2 in Sydney, -1 into St. John's, Newfoundland. Factor in that wind chill, going to feel a lot colder for parts of Atlantic Canada, something to keep in mind. Make sure to layer up before heading outdoors. We do have a risk of frostbite over in Labrador City as well. A coastal flooding statement currently in effect for parts of Nova Scotia. We also have a coastal flooding statement in effect for the south coast of Newfoundland. We do have a snowfall warning and a winter storm warning in effect for eastern Nova Scotia, Cape Breton Island. Same thing goes for parts of Newfoundland. A winter storm warning, a wind warning, and blowing snow advisory, as well as an orange level winter storm warning, seeing some heavier snowfall totals. Here's a look at that satellite and radar. So this system will continue to move quite fast and tracking east. As of right now, seeing the heaviest of the storm, as I mentioned, Cape Breton Island and Newfoundland, so there could be some poor visibility over there. And we do have our visibility graphics, so you can see that, the red indicating the worst of the heaviest of the snowfall in parts of Newfoundland. So make sure to allot some extra time out on your commute if you are able to head out today. Here's a look at the current wind for the Maritime region. Out of the north this morning, 59 kilometers per hour in Canso, 56 in Sydney, 43 in Halifax, 44 in Lunenburg. Wind gusts of 72 kilometers per hour in Canso, 78 in Sydney, 63 in Grand Etang with 61 in Lunenburg. We'll take a look at your long-range forecast just ahead, but first a look at your local news with Amanda.
Thank you, Latavia. And we begin with the impacts of this storm system really impacting eastern parts of Nova Scotia, Cape Breton, as well as Newfoundland. This is a look at Highway 102 near the Halifax Stanfield Airport this morning. It's a fast-moving weather system. It's impacting flights at Halifax Stanfield and around the region. Marine Atlantic has also canceled sailings from North Sydney to Port aux Basques. The bulk of this storm is hitting eastern Nova Scotia and Newfoundland. There are school closures and delays in parts of mainland Nova Scotia and Cape Breton. Also in the CBRM this morning, transit buses aren't running. A full list can be found on our website, ctvnewsatlantic.ca. Snowplows have been working on clearing the roads since last night. And as for power outages, Nova Scotia Power is reporting more than 100 customers are off the grid this morning due to strong winds. And out in the elements for us this morning is CTV's Brianne Foley, who is live in Dartmouth with the Alderney Ferry behind her. Brianne, not a lot of snowfall happening where you are right now.
No, Amanda, we are seeing a little bit of snow coming through. We're actually on the Halifax side of the terminal here. We just saw people coming off, though, so that morning commute really not impacted. The Alderney Ferry is running every half an hour, with the Woodside one running every 15 minutes. So not seeing a whole lot of disruption if you are taking the ferry across. However, like Latavia said earlier, those water levels are pretty high for today. We're seeing that choppy water hanging around as well, so that storm surge is something that is going to continue to impact, especially if you are along the coastal lines in Nova Scotia. So just take consideration in that as you head out and about today. The sidewalks are getting pretty clear as crews are working really hard to make sure that everyone is able to walk to work if they can't drive. But again, those road conditions, not too terrible. It's just the side streets that are still needing a little bit of that extra plowing. As for wind gusts, right now, not too shabby, so that is good news, but we have been feeling it and seeing it, especially in the wind tunnel. So do make sure you are layering up. I have about 3 pairs of pants on right now, so, you know, if you are heading out and about this morning, just make sure you bundle up, especially if you're out walking the dog, as we've seen this morning.
Okay, 3 pairs of pants, advice we can take. Thank you so much, Brianne. CTV's Brianne Foley live on the Halifax waterfront for us this morning. We'll check in again with Brianne at 8 o'clock. And this weather has forced the cancellation of Groundhog Day events with a famous prognosticating rodent. The Nova Scotia government says the annual February 2nd event at Shubenacadie Wildlife Park is cancelled due to the forecast, which it says could create some poor driving conditions for people who want to head to the park, which is about 50K north of Halifax. In a statement announcing the cancellation, the government says Shubenacadie Sam will not see her shadow, which according to folklore means an early spring. We'll see. And HMCS Charlottetown, it departed Halifax on Sunday, headed for the Indo-Pacific region as part of its latest operation. And as CTV's Vanessa Wright reports, it was filled with emotional goodbyes and proud faces.
It was an exciting but nerve-wracking moment.
A bit nervous. I'm in the Air Force. It's my first time on a ship, and it's the first time I've been deployed.
Laura Roy is one of many people heading off on a 6.5-month deployment. An emotional goodbye for family members and loved ones Sunday at the Halifax dockyard.
Well, up until this morning, I had black hair, so that pretty much describes how I feel. But in all sincerity, I'm feeling anxious, but I'm really proud and happy.
Very emotional. I'm very proud of her, what she does, and yeah, it's part of the business.
His Majesty's Canadian ship Charlottetown is headed for the Indo-Pacific as part of Operations Horizon and Neon.
We're going to be, doing some diplomatic and military engagement efforts in the Indo-Pacific, a bunch of different port visits along the way.
It's the Department of National Defence and the Canadian Armed Forces' contribution to Canada's Indo-Pacific strategy.
And so we are the maritime component going to promote peace and stability in the Indo-Pacific region.
But even with a difficult send-off, family members expressed appreciation for the courageousness of those serving the country.
I'm really proud, and we have to support our troops, especially now given the political climate. But there's a lot of camaraderie on board, and we have a wonderful country, and it's worth defending and supporting our NATO.
Making an emotional goodbye a proud one. Vanessa Wright, CTV News, Halifax.
What an emotional moment for everyone to be on that jetty, to say goodbye. I actually happened to be going along the Halifax waterfront by the casino, and I got to see all the goodbyes.
Did you?
Yeah, I took a moment just to stop and look and think back.
It brings back memories. You've actually had an experience.
My dad was on the Charlottetown. He served on that, yeah. Good luck to all the members.
Yes. Well, let's remind people right now about our Move Morning Chat, shall we? We want to know what is going on with you question-wise. It's Groundhog Day. What's a superstition you believe in? Ooh, that's fun.
You two have a superstition you believe in?
Yeah, I have many. My family's like overly superstitious.
Really?
Yeah. One of them is like, don't walk over somebody because you could stunt their growth.
Wow.
Oh, One is like, do not give like your babies a haircut until they start speaking. Because it could stunt their development. Yeah.
That's cool.
And all the ladder and all that jazz.
I love superstitions. Like when I was a kid, I had this running outfit that I wouldn't wash till the season was done because it was my lucky shorts and shirt. But generally, I know it was like grease stains all over it by the end of the season. It was super gross. But no, I'm not superstitious. That's something you'd think I was because I'm like super woo-woo, but no.
You're like, nah.
Not superstitious, exactly.
I bet at the end of your season, your parents and teammates were like, oh, finally she can watch that jersey.
I was in grade 7, so it wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
I was thinking when you were in university.
If it were now, oh my gosh. Woo, look out, world.
Okay, we're going to take a quick break here on Your Morning Atlantic. When we return, Latavia will have the latest on this nor'easter and when it's going to pass through the region, and also too for you waking up in New Brunswick and all the delightful conditions you have there, what to expect as well. So we'll take this break. We'll be right back for the forecast. We're also going to talk about Interfaith Harmony Week. It's a week promoting peace and friendship between all faiths. That conversation is coming up next as well. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
Welcome back, Atlantic Canada. The time now is 7:44. We're taking a live look at Lunenburg. Doesn't look too bad over there early this morning. It is cold, though. Keep that in mind when you are heading out. As of right now, minus 11 degrees in Fredericton, minus 3 starting off your day in Charlottetown, minus 4 in Halifax, minus 1 into St. John's, Newfoundland. A coastal flooding statement in effect for this morning for Yarmouth County to Halifax County. We are going to see a storm surge due to high tide, so something to keep in mind if you are along the Atlantic coast of Nova Scotia. A coastal flooding statement also in effect for the south coast of Newfoundland this morning, and we do have a snowfall warning in effect for eastern Nova Scotia, Cape Breton Island until this afternoon. Could see snow nearing 20 centimeters of accumulation. A winter storm warning also in effect for the same area, looking at snow nearing 25 centimeters, wind gusts 70 to 90 kilometers per hour. A winter storm warning also in effect for parts of Newfoundland for this afternoon. Snowfall between 15 to 30 centimeters, wind gusts ranging from 80 to 100 kilometers per hour. With a wind warning until this afternoon and a blowing snow advisory. We do have an orange level winter storm warning. What that means is we are going to see heavier totals until Tuesday morning, looking at around 20 to 50 centimeters of accumulation, wind gusts of up to 100 kilometers per hour. Here's a look at that system moving across the region. This nor'easter is pretty fast moving, and we're very fortunate for parts of the region at least that it moved east of Sable Island, so we're not getting that heavier impact for parts of the Maritime region. We are going to see into eastern Nova Scotia, Cape Breton Island, some heavier blowing snow expected, as well as parts of Prince Edward Island, seeing flurries expected throughout the day. Newfoundland also getting the heaviest of this system, so visibility could become an issue with that heavy blowing snow expected. Labrador, for the most part, just seeing a bit of flurry activity. The southwestern region of New Brunswick looking at a bit of flurry activity. That will clear into the afternoon. We will be seeing a bit of sunny breaks for parts of New Brunswick and into the southwestern region of Nova Scotia. Other than that, though, we will be seeing some flurry activity and heavier snow for parts of Atlantic Canada into early Tuesday morning. If you're wondering about snowfall totals, this is additional to what we already received Sunday night into early Monday morning. We are going to look at around 1 to 5 centimeters of accumulation for parts of eastern Nova Scotia, Cape Breton Island. Heaviest being North Mountain at around 10 to 15 centimeters of accumulation. We're looking at 1 to 10 centimeters across parts of Labrador. And then for Newfoundland, the heaviest being St. John's, Newfoundland at around 15 to 30 centimeters. For New Brunswick today, for the most part, seeing mainly cloudy skies, so a mix of sun and cloud. We do have some isolated flurries expected early in the morning for the southern region of the province. That will clear out into the afternoon. Daytime highs between -6 to 0. For Prince Edward Island, flurries expected throughout your day today, highs between -3 to -2, wind gusts of 60 kilometers per hour expected. And then for Cape Breton, eastern Nova Scotia, highs between -3 to +1. Heavy blowing snow expected with wind gusts of 60. And then for the rest of Nova Scotia, highs between -3 to -1. Flurries starting off the day, clearing, leaving mainly cloudy skies. For Labrador City, lots of sunshine throughout your day. Flurries into the evening, a high of -14 degrees today. 1 degree for St. John's, Newfoundland, looking at some heavy blowing snow expected. Tuesday's forecast, temperatures will be on the warmer side of things for parts of the Maritime region. We are going to see a cloudier day ahead, though. A bit of flurry activity returns for parts of Nova Scotia. Newfoundland and Labrador, pretty cloudy for your day as well. for Wednesday afternoon, we will be seeing flurries return for parts of all 3 maritime provinces. Into the evening, we'll see an increase of flurry activity for parts of Atlantic Canada. So that's a look at your weather forecast. We'll throw things over to Crystal.
Thanks, Latavia. It's almost 7:48, and it is Interfaith Harmony Week around the world. It's a week full of events that celebrate peace and friendship of all faiths. Joining us this morning from Interfaith Harmony Halifax is Joanna Wexler, who is also president of Shar Shalom. Good morning, Joanna. Welcome back.
Good morning.
So for any of our viewers who aren't familiar, tell us more about what Interfaith Harmony Week means.
So it's actually associated with UN World Interfaith Harmony Week. And that's been going on, started in Jordan by the King of Jordan, who wanted to show that religious traditions and spiritual traditions could be a mover towards peace. So UN World Harmony Week, there are events that happen all over the world, which is really amazing, registering them. So there's, last year, I think there was like 1,500 events worldwide. And Halifax itself has started its chapter 16 years ago. So we've been running different kinds of activities, youth events, celebration, sacred spaces where people open up their houses of worship in different capacities. So sometimes that means an open service or meditation or an introduction. Could be a lecture. Or a learning session, could be a dinner. So we do all kinds of different events throughout the week. We started January 30th this year and go to February 8th. And then there's a couple, sometimes we'll do things like there's already been a cancellation that will extend it until February 12th. But it's a wonderful opportunity to experience other traditions and cultures and to make new friends.
I know that you've been involved for quite some time, Joanna. How did you get involved in the first place?
I actually first got involved as a singer. So I do a lot of music in the Jewish community, and I was asked to join to sing some Jewish music at the celebration. It was such a wonderful experience that I suggested to my son the next year that we do the Interfaith Experience program. So there's a part that you can register to have this as an experience where you get a little passport and you go to a minimum of 5 faith tradition houses of worship or experiences, not including your own. And you go and just experience it. But you do it as a cohort. There's an orientation and then there's an evaluation. And my son did it as part of his bar mitzvah project when he turned 13, was to learn more about himself. By also exploring other people's traditions and why does it matter that we have traditions in the first place. And it was a deeply, profoundly moving experience for us because it really made us both more in touch with who we are and more in touch with the fact that there are certain universal truths for people of all faiths that we really can come together and find common ground. And this was just really meaningful. For both of us.
So that experience, we've only got a minute left, Joanna, that experience that you had with your son, is that something that people watching right now can sign up for and do this year?
Yes. I mean, it's a bit late to register for this year, but certainly you can register on our website and people will meet up with you. If you did want to do a passport, it's not too late. There's still lots to do during the week. And if anything, it's just come and experience a taste of it and see how much more you want to get involved.
Yes, but I mean, last question for you. I understand there's a rather large celebration on Sunday afternoon. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah. It's very exciting. So this is sort of a showcase. So for Interfaith Harmony Week in Halifax, we actually have 18 different faith traditions who are represented during the whole week. And at the celebration, 9 or 10 of us are going to get together to showcase songs, spiritual readings, dances. There's a Tai Chi demonstration. There'll be a rock band. All kinds of different ways that spiritual traditions can manifest. Sometimes the audience can participate, which is really lovely. But it's really a time to kind of get together and show just the beautiful diversity that we have in this city of different spiritual and faith traditions. And
well, Joanna,
everyone
thank you. Oh, I'm so sorry. That's the time we have, but really appreciate your time this morning. It sounds wonderful, and we put all the details on our website so people can find out more. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
And it's time now to turn our attention over to Amanda for health and medical news.
Thank you so much, ladies. Health and medical news now. A new report says LGBTQ plus people in Canada aren't getting access to the health care they need, including mental health treatment, compared to the general population. It's one of the topics in your health. The Pink Paper on Health, released by Pink Triangle Press, says mental health and gender-affirming services were the most prevalent concerns identified by LGBTQ plus people in a national survey. Almost 40% of LGBTQ plus participants reported having a mental health disorder, including anxiety and depression, compared to 20% of heterosexual cisgender participants. On top of a shortage of mental health care providers overall, the report says many aren't adequately trained to meet the needs of transgender and non-binary people in particular. One of the main recommendations in the report is to integrate training on the needs of LGBTQ plus patients into the curriculum for healthcare professionals, including in medical and nursing schools. New research is showing that heavy drinking can double your cancer risk. Researchers at the U.S. National Cancer Institute focused on the relationship between lifetime drinking habits and colorectal cancer. They looked at 20 years of data from more than 88,000 people and found that heavy drinkers with a lifetime average of 14 or more drinks per week were almost twice as likely to develop rectal cancer. Finally, scientists have long believed that longevity is shaped by lifestyle choices. However, a new study reveals that genes may play a larger role in determining how long people live. Genetics account for over half of differences in lifespan, 2 times higher than earlier estimates. The finding, published in the journal Science, suggests that longevity is akin to other complex traits such as cholesterol levels and osteoporosis risk that are thought to be shaped by many genes, but also heavily influenced by how and where people live. Previous studies underestimated the influence of genetics because they relied on data from people born before the 19th century. Those people typically died of infectious diseases and accidents before vaccines, medications, modern-day hygiene practices, and safety regulations became widely available.
And we just have one milestone to pass along for you today. It is a 68th anniversary for Lewis and Bertha Jameson of Hadleyville, Nova Scotia.
Hello, you two, looking happy after 68 years together. How wonderful.
Happy anniversary. And to see your milestone again or to find out how to submit one, visit our website by scanning the QR code on your screen. And a reminder, milestones must be received 2 weeks in advance. All right, now we're going to take a look at the 3-day forecast. A high of -3 degrees today for New Brunswick. Looking at a bit of a flurry activity for the southern region, clearing out, leaving sunshine across parts of the province. For Tuesday, looking at a high of -3 degrees, mainly sunny skies, increasing cloudiness into the afternoon. And then on Wednesday, a high of -2 degrees, mix of sun and cloud with increasing cloudiness yet again for parts of the province into the afternoon, flurries across the province into the evening. Then for Nova Scotia, we are going to see a high of -3 degrees today. Flurries for parts of the province, but seeing that heavier blowing snow for eastern Nova Scotia, Cape Breton Island. Clearing for parts of the province, leaving mainly cloudy skies. 0 for Tuesday's daytime high, mainly cloudy skies again. And then on Wednesday, cloudy skies with evening flurries, a high of -1. Prince Edward Island seeing flurries across the island today with a high of -3, -2 degrees on Tuesday with cloudy skies. And then on Wednesday, a high of -1, cloudy skies return with evening flurries.
It's Monday, February 2nd. Today on your Morning Atlantic, it is Groundhog Day. It's another Monday and another winter storm moves on through. We'll have the latest on its impacts and the forecast just ahead.
And cheese, please. It's delicious and it comes in all shapes and sizes, and it's a great way to hit your protein goals. We're checking out easy snack ideas a little later this half hour on Your Morning.
Hey, good morning. It is February 2nd. It's Groundhog Day. Normally at this time, we show you a live eye from Shubenacadie Sam as Sam makes her prediction, but that event canceled this morning due to road conditions and the weather. Though I must say, in comparison to the other Monday storms that we've had in the region over the past couple of weeks, this one seems like maybe we're just getting better at it, but this one seems the lightest.
Oh, absolutely. Friday, it was looking like a landslide. Very high totals across the board. It was looking like quite a mess. We are so lucky that it moved east of Cape Sable Island, so it really didn't get that impact that we were expecting. Yes, many areas only seeing a bit of flurry activity, but some still seeing heavier.
Yeah, I mean, it's still there, but like way better than
the models were showing on Friday. I'm so glad you said that because I was thinking, like, is it just me? Did I read it wrong? Did I hear it wrong?
No.
We're still having some closures, but for the most part, a lot of delayed opening for schools today.
Yeah.
I know my son's going to be shocked when our husband tells him, no, you're going to school, but in 2 hours from now.
Debbie.
That can be worse.
He's gonna be like, man.
My friends' kids, they were having so much fun last night because their teacher told them on Friday a bunch of magic tricks that they could do to try to create a snow day for their school, like put a crayon or a marker in the fridge and put a spoon under your pillow.
Yeah,
like
tape
silly.
a penny to the window.
Yeah,
for
fun
sure.
things like that.
Yeah, we still have a penny taped to our window.
Do you?
Yeah. Just in the event of in any case, what are we looking at right now?
Well, we are very thankful. Snowplows were out last night, early this morning, really clearing up road conditions. Here's a look at Masstown as of right now. You can see fresh snow has definitely fallen over there. A cold start to the day, but we are only seeing a bit of flurry activity for parts of the Maritime region. But some heavier totals still accumulating across parts of the region as well. I'll have a full breakdown on that in just a bit. Minus 11 degrees heading outdoors in Fredericton, minus 3 in Charlottetown, minus 2 degrees in Sydney with minus 4 in Halifax, looking at minus 1 into St. John's, Newfoundland. Still factoring in that wind chill, so it's going to feel colder for parts of the region still. We do have a risk of frostbite over in Labrador City. Just make sure to layer up before heading out because we're still feeling that bite in the air when you factor in those gusty winds as well. A coastal flooding statement currently in effect for Yarmouth County to Halifax County. We do have a coastal flooding statement also in effect for the south coast of Newfoundland. A snowfall warning in effect for eastern Nova Scotia, Cape Breton Island, as well as a winter storm warning until this afternoon. We're looking at a winter storm warning also in effect for parts of Newfoundland, a wind warning, and a blowing snow advisory. An orange level winter storm warning as well. Here's a look at the satellite and radar. So still seeing an impact from this nor'easter that is quite fast moving for parts of Nova Scotia seeing a bit of flurry activity, but eastern Nova Scotia, Cape Breton Island seeing some heavier blowing snow. Parts of Prince Edward Island seeing flurry activity as well. And Newfoundland also seeing the heavy impacts of this system. In terms of visibility, it could be an issue for parts of Cape Breton Island across Newfoundland. The red indicating poor visibility even further because the heavier of the system, but now it is moving out of Newfoundland as well. But keep that in mind when you are heading out this morning. In terms of our wind, it is continuing to pick up. As of right now, 59 kilometers per hour in Canso, 56 in Sydney, 44 in Lunenburg. Wind gusts still getting up to 78 kilometers per hour in Sydney, 72 in Canso, 63 in Grandetang, and 61 in Lunenburg. We'll take another look at your long-range forecast just ahead, but first a look at your local news with Amanda.
Thank you, Latavia. And we begin with the impacts this storm system is having on the region. Here's a look at Highway 102 near Halifax Stanfield before the sun was up this morning. Now, this is a fast-moving weather system, as Latavia mentioned, and it's impacting flights in the region. On the water, Marine Atlantic has canceled sailings from North Sydney to Port aux Basques. The bulk of the storm is hitting eastern Nova Scotia and Newfoundland. There are school closures and delays in parts of Nova Scotia. And in the CBRM, transit buses aren't running this morning. A reevaluation will be done at noontime. You can find a full detailed list of impacts on our website, ctvnewsatlantic.ca. And as we've been seeing, snow plows have been working throughout the evening to clear the streets. For the latest on conditions in the Halifax area, we check in with CTV's Brianne Foley. And now the sun is up, Brianne. You've been reporting for us since 6 a.m. The wind's still quite strong.
Yeah, Amanda, the sun might be up, but we really can't see it right now. The wind is definitely blowing, so we are experiencing those gusting winds, as you can see with my hair blowing in my face, as well as the snow blowing across. So we do have some snow falling, but most of this is the blowing snow, which we have seen that advisory for today. Now, taking a look at traffic, pretty normal traffic conditions for this time of day. And like you said, Amanda, crews were working really hard overnight and into the early hours this morning to ensure those roads are safe and drivable for people heading out and about, especially since we have way less closures than what was initially anticipated. But if you take a look at the blowing wind, yeah, you're still going to be feeling those impacts throughout the course of today. So keep that in mind as you head out and about. It is still windy. Like I said, layer up if you do have to be out here. Make sure you got your gloves, you got your hat going. And when that wind is hitting you in the face, make sure you do bundle up a little bit extra for that one, Amanda.
Yeah, and that snowplow working hard behind you. CTV's Brianne Foley at the Windsor Street Exchange in Halifax. We'll check in with Brianne one more time at 8:30 as well. Now, if you're feeling cold, we got a heartwarming story for you now about a man who's been playing music all of his life, but has just recently received an international audience through social media. CTV's Derek Haggett has his story.
Cedric Landers has a hit on his hands. After playing music for almost his whole life, the soon-to-be 90-year-old has become an overnight sensation.
I can't register it yet that it's really happened.
He plays every day for his wife, Marina. They've been married for 70 years. With a little help from her daughter, Marina posted videos of Cedric playing inspirational hymns on Facebook. The response was overwhelmingly positive, so she decided to create an Instagram account for her father.
So I thought, let's try that. So I started an account for Dad, and on December 30th, and it's taken off. The response is from around the world.
See, I settled down and did all of this stuff.
1.3 million views and more than 10,000 followers all the way from South Korea to Brazil.
I can't believe it, that many people were listening to the radio. Well, not a radio, but that's what I call it.
He learned how to play when he was just 7 years old.
Bing Crosby and all those fellows that had musical programs, I listened to them till my mother chased me upstairs to bed.
Laura Lee thinks the sudden online popularity is because the old hymns bring joy to so many people.
Their grandfather sang that or played that, or their grandmother, or they sang it with their mom. So I think it brings back a lot of memories.
It's all a bit hard for Cedric to wrap his mind around.
The people are out there listening for something. They're listening for something, and apparently it sounds good to them, I guess.
Cedric says if all of his followers are church people, they'll know all of the hymns. Derek Haggett, CTV News, Lutz Mountain, New Brunswick.
What a great story. How lovely.
I know. Thank you, Cedric, for sharing your gift with us and for a wider audience, too. Very, like, salt of the earth Maritimer there.
Yeah.
You know, just like, this is what I do. I play piano. It's just soft and gentle and lovely.
Well, this next story is a nice moment for a family, too. A big night in lacrosse for the Maritimes over the weekend as a hometown player hit the floor in the Pro League in front of family and friends for the first time. Oh. Liam McGraw, who came up through Metro Minor Lacrosse in La Crosse, Nova Scotia, was the second local player to play on pro turf at home. McGraw, who was drafted to the Georgia Swarm in 2023, played against the Halifax Thunderbirds Saturday night. It was an unforgettable night for McGraw's family and the local lacrosse community.
To see someone to go to the highest level, it kind of makes that pathway real and something that they can do themselves.
It's a dream come true for him and us and our whole family. He's been working really hard for this for a really long time, so we're super proud and happy for him.
So family and friends waited for McGraw to appear after the game, where he treated everyone with hugs and handshakes. His team won 11-7 over the Thunderbirds, but the T-Birds get another crack at the Swarm in Georgia on March 20th. So that's a great night, and so great for the local kids to see that you can make it to the big leagues.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's true. Here at home. Yeah. Right? It must have been bittersweet, though, for the Swarm to win.
Yeah.
Good for him.
I know.
We'll allow it because he's a hometown boy. Yeah.
All right. Still ahead, we're going to have another look at your top news headlines and a look at the Monday forecast. It's feeling like Groundhog Day because it is Groundhog Day. It's February 2nd. Latavia has the latest details on when this fast-moving nor'easter will be out of the region and what we have in store for Tuesday. Coming up.
Excuse me.
Welcome back. Time now is 8:14. We're taking a live look at Windsor early this morning. It's quite cold this morning, especially when you factor in the breezy wind we're seeing and that wind chill. Weather is brought to you by ALC.ca. It's a bit cold for much of the region. As of right now, minus 11 degrees in Fredericton, minus 2 in both Charlottetown and Sydney, minus 4 starting off your day in Halifax, minus 1 into St. John's, Newfoundland. Coastal flooding statement still remains in effect this morning for Yarmouth County to Halifax County. We are expecting a storm surge due to high tide. Something to keep in mind, we could see those water levels rise above astronomical tide. Over to the coastal flooding statement, also in effect for parts of the south coast of Newfoundland. This is for this morning as well. And we do have a snowfall warning in effect for eastern Nova Scotia, Cape Breton Island until this afternoon. Could see snow nearing 20 centimeters. Winter storm warning also in effect until this afternoon. Snow could near 25 centimeters. Wind gusts 70 to 90 kilometers per hour. Also have a winter storm warning in effect for parts of Newfoundland for this afternoon. Could see around 15 to 30 centimeters of accumulation. Wind gusts 80 to 100 kilometers per hour, with a wind warning and blowing snow advisory in effect. We do have an orange level winter storm warning as well, seeing heavier snowfall totals at around 20 to 50 centimeters of accumulation until Tuesday morning, with wind gusts between 80 to 100 kilometers per hour. So here's a look at our forecast timeline. This nor'easter is fast moving. We are seeing a bit of flurry activity for mainland Nova Scotia. Other than that, eastern Nova Scotia, Cape Breton Island, still seeing some heavier snowfall, blowing snow as well, so visibility could become an issue. Same thing goes for Newfoundland, heavier snowfall, that blowing snow as well. So we are seeing visibility issues there. Prince Edward Island seeing a few flurries across the province today, and then in the southern region of New Brunswick, seeing isolated flurries that will clear out, seeing sunny breaks into the afternoon for parts of the province. For Labrador, we are going to see a few flurries as well, and that takes us into the evening hours. Most of this system breaks down for Nova Scotia, only seeing some light snowfall and flurry activity. Newfoundland still dealing with the heavier snowfall and blowing snow, taking us into early Tuesday morning. If you're wondering about snowfall totals, this is additional to what we received Sunday night into early Monday morning. We're looking at an additional 1 to 5 centimeters of accumulation for parts of eastern Nova Scotia, heaviest being into North Mountain, around 10 to 15 centimeters. And then for Labrador, looking at around 1 to 5 centimeters of accumulation, heaviest being into St. John's, Newfoundland, 15 to 30 centimeters expected. Here's a look at our forecast today for New Brunswick. Bit of flurry activity for the southern region, clearing out, leaving mainly cloudy skies to a mix of sun and cloud today. Daytime highs will range from -6 to 0, wind gusts of 50 kilometers per hour expected. Prince Edward Island looking at highs between -3 to -2. Flurry is expected throughout your day, quite light in its activity though. Cape Breton, eastern Nova Scotia looking at heavier snow, blowing snow as well. Daytime highs between -3 to +1. For the rest of Nova Scotia, flurries will clear, leaving mainly cloudy skies. Still seeing a bit of blowing snow early this morning. Daytime highs ranging from -3 to -1. For Labrador City, lots of sunshine throughout your day today, a high of -14 degrees. We do have flurries into the evening, and 2 degrees for St. John's, Newfoundland. Heavy blowing snow expected throughout your day. Tuesday's forecast, bit of a cloudy day ahead. We do have a few flurries tracking across parts of Nova Scotia. Wednesday's forecast, flurries return for parts of all 3 maritime provinces. Into the evening, we'll see an increase of flurries across parts of Atlantic Canada. So that's a look at your weather forecast. Also things over to Amanda.
After all this, we can handle some flurries. Thank you, Latavia. Some NHL legends rolled into a small town on Prince Edward Island. It's part of a tour that brings former hockey players to places the league rarely reaches. Here is CTV's Maria Saru.
A drawing slides across the table and a hockey legend autographs the page. For these kids, it's a memorable keepsake. Former NHL players filed into an elementary school in rural PEI, signing sticks, jerseys, and leaving their mark with a message against bullying.
At the end of the day, you're a team, so you got to act like one and play like one.
This tour is a two-way win. The children get a front row look at how far hard work can go, and for past players, a chance to give back.
For a lot of us, none of us have been here. For them, they've probably never encountered NHL players or former NHL players. So it's a good crossover.
Some had hard-hitting questions.
Why did you guys retire?
The game got way too quick, and I got way too slow.
Now the NHL legends are sharing their skills in a different way, hosting clinics for minor hockey leagues like this one in Tignish. And the young players soaked it all in.
You don't get to do this a lot, so it's a once-in-a-lifetime thing. They have a lot of experience, and they'll give it over to us so we can get better. It's really cool to train with them. I'm really grateful that they got to come here.
Many of them small-town kids with big league dreams.
In the NHL. NHL.
And the older players say anything's possible.
Follow your dreams. Work hard. Be prepared, treat people with respect.
That advice was put into practice with every drill, pass, and goal on the ice. Maria Saru, CTV News, Tignish, Prince Edward Island.
Thank you, Maria. To the U.S. now, music's biggest night in history is now in the history books for another year. Time now for a roundup of the big winners and top moments from last night's Grammy Awards. Here's ABC's Sophie Flay.
Overnight, Bad Bunny making Grammys history.
And the Grammy goes to Bad Bunny.
The Puerto Rican superstar becoming the first Spanish-language artist to win the biggest award of the night, Album of the Year.
I want to dedicate this award to all the people that had to leave their homeland, their country to follow their dreams.
And the Grammy goes to Lady Gaga! A big night, too, for Lady Gaga, who took home the award for Best Pop Vocal Album and cast a spell with her hit Abracadabra. Bruno Mars with a bit of magic on his own, performing not once, but twice. And despite leaving without any trophies, Sabrina Carpenter managed to steal the show with her performance. Justin Bieber making his return to the Grammy stage, delivering a stripped-down performance, literally. Reba McEntire performing at the Grammys for the first time in honor of her late stepson, talent manager Brandon Blackstock. Reba leading the tribute section, which included Post Malone performing War Pigs in honor of Ozzy Osbourne. And there was a mini Fugees reunion as Lauryn Hill and surprise guest Wyclef Jean paid tribute to Roberta Flack. Some surprises among the award winners, too. Billie Eilish taking home Song of the Year for Wildflower, beating out the heavily favored Golden from K-pop Demon Hunters. It was a great night, and now we look forward to next year. The Grammys are headed to ABC, Disney Plus, and Hulu in 2027. Sophie Flay, ABC News, New York.
Thank you, Sophie. A quick break here on Your Morning Atlantic. When we return, things get a little cheesy. That conversation is coming up next. Please stick around. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. It's 8:24, and when it comes to cheese around here, we say yes, please. Taylor Kay is here with some snacking ideas and some yummy ways to add protein into your routine without overthinking it. Good morning to our partner, Taylor Kay. Great to see you again.
Good morning. And with people like, maybe shoveling and doing stuff this morning, you might be looking for comfort food. So I have some suggestions for that as well.
I love it. Thanks to Armstrong, we have a whole bunch of cheese on the table here. I actually have already started to rip open the packages and get into it. So maybe we should get into this interview. I understand you're highlighting a cheese that's perfect for us looking to add more protein to our diets.
Exactly. You know what? A lot of people, like I'm on TikTok and social media and watching the news. A lot of people are, thinking of adding more protein into their diet, and people don't think of cheese as a protein source, but it actually is. And Armstrong cheese listen, giving Canadians more protein without changing the foods they love. They've got a new high in protein cheddar cheese. So it's the protein you want with the cheese you crave. It allows Canadians to have protein like in everyday ways, which I'm going to show you in some fun recipes, whether you're grabbing a quick snack or looking for some comfort food.
I love it. And the ones that you sent us, actually, a little protein, like little mini ones on the go. I find cheese like this tastes even better.
It is. And you know what? We like those cheese snacks on the go. So here's some options for you, you know, throughout the day. And this is their whole collection as well. But, you know, cheese sticks on the go, you know, let's start. Like, I've got 3 kids. I've got real life mornings, you know, running out the door, kids' lunches, gym bags, commutes. These high in protein cheddar cheese sticks are an easy win. And then I've got shredded protein cheese, the shredded high in protein cheese. So I think of a salad, you know, maybe for lunch. And yeah, I always joke like summer bodies are made in the winter. So we're all kind of like, you know, watching stuff. So adding that protein. So one of my favorite ways to boost the salad is just like adding some shredded, you know, protein cheese in there and making it even better. Maybe throwing like a can of tuna or chicken in there. And then, you know, it's freezing and cold outside and we're looking for some comfort food. So how about some mac and cheese, right? And this is great for like taking to a family get together as well. And with Armstrong's high in protein cheese, it's really satisfying. And then of course, we've got the cheese sticks there. We've got tomato soup, which is great for lunch as well. And then you can see the salad there as well. And the tomato soup I love because we can add cheddar cheese right to it and then grilled cheese along the side and then cube cheese. And I love that, again, this is their block cheese. So you can, you know, design it on a little charcuterie board as well.
Yeah, no, all these, this B-roll that you sent us is great to just show how easy it is to use cheese in so many ways. Man, this is making me hungry. Where can people go for more cheesy recipe ideas? Because seriously, it is great to get new recipes.
Well, you know what? Armstrong Cheese has an AI companion, a cheesy AI companion, which is really cool. It's called Cheese GPT. So if you go to armstrongcheese.ca, you can see it, or cheesegpt.com.armstrong.cheese.ca. But if you just check out armstrongcheese.ca, you can get all the recipe inspiration. You can tell it the ingredients you have in your kitchen. So if you're like, I've got high protein cheese, I've got, you know, I've got salad, I've got, you know, broccoli, what can I make? Maybe you're making a cheesy broccoli soup, but it is your cheesy AI companion. Just check out armstrongcheese.ca for more info.
Super handy. We'll put that website on ours to make it easy for people to find. Okay, I've actually been into these nibblers, which are these cheese curds that say on the package are high protein. They're super good. What's your favorite Armstrong cheese?
I would say those are my favorite because you can also, well, I mean, really their whole collection. They've got, I'll show you this one. Also, I've got their bacon one that I like. But the high protein I like, but they've got the bacon. They've got a full collection. But if you're looking to step it up with a little bit more high protein, then check out their new collection.
Now you're speaking my language, Taylor. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And we'll turn our attention now over to the Weather Center with Latavia. There's lots of cheese here, Latavia. You got to get in here later.
I absolutely will, Crystal. Taking another look at our 3-day forecast for New Brunswick, a high of -3 degrees today. Isolated flurries starting off the day for the southern region will clear out, leaving mainly cloudy to a mix of sun and cloud. And then Tuesday, looking at a high of -3, we have lots of sunshine with increasing cloudiness into the afternoon. On Wednesday, -2 degrees, a mix of sun and cloud with flurries into the evening. Nova Scotia is looking at a high of -3. We do have flurry activity for parts of the province. Eastern Nova Scotia, Cape Breton Island seeing some blowing heavy snow. In Tuesday's forecast, 0 with mainly cloudy skies. And then on Wednesday, looking at cloudy skies with a high of -1 and evening flurries. Prince Edward Island, -3 degrees today. We do have a few flurries across the island. On Tuesday, -2 degrees, cloudy skies. Wednesday, cloudy skies yet again. Evening flurries and a high of -1.
Still ahead this morning, are you dealing with the winter blues? Many people struggle this time of year. We'll get some tips to make the cold and the snow not seem so bad if you're not a fan of it. That's coming up in our last 15 minutes of Your Morning Atlantic.
Welcome back. The time now is 8:32. A bit of a storm system tracking across the region. I say a bit because we are anticipating so much more.
Yeah.
So considerably lighter for parts of the region. Still picking up for parts of the region as well, though.
Okay.
I know. A lot of delayed opening for schools today. We do have some full school closures, but for some kids, it's like, okay, 2 hours. You're going to school.
See ya.
Yeah.
Bye.
A lot of flights impacted at the airport.
Yes, especially Halifax Stanfield, which is our largest airport in the region, and over in St. John's, Newfoundland, which makes sense considering the track of the system that you've been talking about, Latavia.
Absolutely, yeah.
And there's business as usual in New Brunswick and Western PEI.
Imagine that. They're like, what's
your turn is what they're saying.
Yeah.
Take it away.
When I think of a winter wonderland, I always think of northern New Brunswick.
Oh, yeah.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
It is beautiful.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, just cold.
And Charlottetown was chilly this morning.
Yeah, it's -3 degrees starting off your day. That's not factoring in that wind chill and a bit of a breezy wind. But we do have flurries expected throughout your day today. In terms of the temperatures as of right now, -11 degrees in Fredericton, -4 early this morning in Halifax, -2 in Sydney, -1 into St. John's, Newfoundland. Here's a look at that wind chill factoring in. There is feeling like quite a bite in the air when you factor in those gusty winds as well. Something to keep in mind as you head outdoors. You're going to want to layer up. In case of that, we do have a risk of frostbite as well into Labrador City. A coastal flooding statement remains in effect for Yarmouth County to Halifax County. We do have a coastal flooding statement also in effect for the south coast of Newfoundland. And then we have a snowfall warning for eastern Nova Scotia, Cape Breton Island, a winter storm warning as well until this afternoon, with a winter storm warning for parts of Newfoundland till this afternoon as well, a wind warning, blowing snow advisory, and an orange level winter storm warning in effect. So here's a look at that nor'easter tracking across parts of Atlantic Canada. So eastern Nova Scotia, Cape Breton Island, visibility could become an issue. We are seeing heavier blowing snow in your area, as well as across parts of Newfoundland. Here's a look at that visibility graphic we have indicating some poor visibility for parts of Nova Scotia, as well as Newfoundland. Something to keep in mind if you are able to head out on a commute today. In terms of the current wind, it is continuing to pick up this morning, will slowly diminish into the late afternoon. As of right now, 52 kilometers per hour in Sydney, 48 in Canso, 46 in Lunenburg, wind gusts of up to 78 kilometers per hour in Sydney, 65 into Lunenburg, and then we're looking at 57 in Grand Etang. We'll take one last look at your long-range forecast, but first, one last look at your local news with Amanda.
And just like Groundhog Day on this morning, we are talking about the weather and its impact. Here's a look at conditions on Highway 102 near the Halifax Stanfield Airport earlier this morning. As Latavia mentioned, this is a fast-moving weather system, and it is impacting flights in the region. Marine Atlantic has also canceled sailings between North Sydney and Port aux Basques. Now, the bulk of this storm is hitting Nova Scotia and Newfoundland. There are school closures and delays in eastern mainland Nova Scotia and Cape Breton. Also in the CBRM, transit buses aren't running this morning. A reevaluation will be made at noontime. You can find a full list of impacts on our website, ctvnewsatlantic.ca. As for outages, Nova Scotia Power is reporting more than 100 customers are off the grid due to strong winds. And having live coverage outside in Dartmouth this morning, we have CTV's Brianne Foley. Brianne, you've been covering these conditions all morning. One last check-in. How is it out there?
Yes, Amanda. Well, it is still quite windy. We are seeing some of that blowing snow come across and some falling snow as well. So it continues to be quite windy this morning. If you do have to get out and about, just make sure you are bundling up properly with your proper coat and hat and mitts. Like you said, ferry service is still going every 15 minutes from Woodside Ferry and every half hour from Alderney Landing here. And we are continuing to see those road conditions just keep getting better as crews are continuing to work on those. So that is the nice part. Though you did mention Shubenacadie Sam not coming out today. What are we going to do, Amanda? Are you there?
Watching throughout the morning.
Don't know if you're there.
We're here. We're here now. If they've been watching your hits throughout the morning, you've been all around the city, and there's been a little critter following you around. So since Shubenacadie Sam wasn't coming out of the borough this morning because of weather conditions, you've come in to save the day.
Yes, so we actually have brought in my friend Gary the Groundhog, and he has been following us all day today. And you know what? No shadow for Gary either, so looks like it is actually going to be an early spring this year. So that is good news. I know right now we're in the midst of another snowstorm. However, it is going to be an early spring thanks to Gary. We don't have to rely on Wyerton Willie or anybody else, not even Lucy the Lobster needs to come out today because Gary's got us covered.
Puxatawny Phil, get out of here. Gary named after one of our engineers here at CTV Atlantic. Brianne, thank you so much for all your live hits this morning. CTV's Brianne Foley reporting live for us in Dartmouth this morning. And Gary, the groundhog, a new addition. To other news now. HMCS Charlottetown is on its way to the Indo-Pacific region for a 6-month deployment.
A bit nervous. I'm in the Air Force. It's my first time on a ship, and it's the first time I've been deployed.
The ship left the port of Halifax yesterday, heading to support 2 different missions in the region. Operation Neon will see the crew of Charlottetown helping implement United Nations sanctions against North Korea. Over the weekend, Halifax became one of only 11 North American cities to offer in-person auditions for Canada's National Ballet School in Toronto. And as CTV's Vanessa Wright shows us, young maritime dancers jumped at the opportunity to be one step closer to their lifelong dream.
Inside this ballet studio, the dreams of young dancers. They're hoping to score a spot in one of the world's most prestigious ballet training programs at Canada's National Ballet School in Toronto.
A bit nervous, but also very excited. It's my 3rd time auditioning, and I don't know, I feel like I've worked very hard over the past few months.
Halifax is one of only 11 North American cities hosting in-person auditions for the school. Jumping on the rare opportunity, local dancers showed up bright and early Saturday for the first round of auditions.
Well, it is a great opportunity for the dancers to have the experience how it's going to be the training in Canada's National Ballet School, a full-time program, and it gives a little bit of sample of it today. Of course, it's not exactly the same because time is limited and just a 1 day, but to give them a chance to explore doing some of the movements.
Giving students a chance to show their talent, passion, and joy for dance.
And then they will be invited, if we think that it's a right fit to our program, to the 2nd stage, which happens in July.
It's a dream 12-year-old Halifax student Danica Guest hopes to achieve. Her older sister is currently training at the school.
I was really excited because it's a great opportunity to learn new things, and I really wanted to see my sister more often.
The hope for today is daughter number 2 getting in.
Just a glimpse of how dedicated these dancers are. 13-year-old Mackenzie Snow traveled from New Brunswick for Saturday's audition.
I think it's fantastic that she wants to put herself out there and take a class with different teachers and with different kids in a different city.
In hopes it will be just the start of a lifelong dream. Vanessa Wright, CTV News, Halifax.
Thank you, Vanessa. Talented young dancers there. Latavia, does that take you back to your dancing days?
Yeah. Hard.
It's hard.
It looks so beautiful and elegant. Oh my gosh. Wow.
Good luck to those students who did that audition. Maybe some of them will get in.
Okay, that happened on the weekend. What's going on now?
We'll take a look at the community calendar, some events taking place. So the Shediac Annual Winter Carnival returns this week in New Brunswick. There will be a wide range of indoor and outdoor activities available. Live music, culinary tastings, community breakfast, and much more family-friendly activities from now until Sunday, February 8th. Head over to their website for a full breakdown. And the Confederation Center of the Arts will host Feel the Rhythm, a West African dance journey. So this is a 6-week class, and it's high energy, a rhythm-driven class that explores the foundations of West African dance, a beginner-friendly class, and it will begin starting today at 8 p.m. So for additional information, you can head over to their website. And the ultimate showcase of top maritime boats returns at the Halifax International Boat Show from February 5th until the 8th. So at the Halifax Exhibition Center, they'll display exhibits featuring marine equipment, engines, top-of-the-line boats, and so much more. For tickets, head over to their website. If you do have an upcoming event, please send us the details. We'd love to promote it. Your Morning Atlantic at ctv.ca. All right, time now. We're going to head to break. Stick with us. We'll be back. Happy Monday. The time now is 8:45. We're taking a live look at Grand Manan. It is quite cold early this morning. -9 degrees starting off your day, not factoring in the wind and that wind chill. So make sure to layer up before heading outdoors. Minus 11 degrees early this morning in Fredericton. We have minus 3 starting off your day in Charlottetown, minus 4 in Halifax, minus 2 degrees in Sydney, minus 1 over in St. John's, Newfoundland. A coastal flooding statement remains in effect for Yarmouth County to Halifax County for this morning. We also have a coastal flooding statement in effect for the south coast of Newfoundland. A snowfall warning in effect for eastern Nova Scotia, Cape Breton Island until this afternoon. Could see snow nearing 20 centimeters of accumulation. A winter storm warning also in effect until this afternoon. Could see up to 25 centimeters of snowfall. Wind gusts between 70 to 90 kilometers per hour. Winter storm warning also in effect for parts of Newfoundland, looking at around 15 to 30 centimeters. Wind gusts between 80 to 100 kilometers per hour. A wind warning until this afternoon as well, with a blowing snow advisory. An orange level winter storm warning, which means heavier totals expected. Snowfall between 20 to 50 centimeters. Wind gusts 80 to 100 kilometers per hour until Tuesday morning. So here's a look at the nor'easter tracking across parts of Atlantic Canada. It is fast moving. We are seeing flurry activity for parts of the Maritime region, but for the most part, seeing the heaviest of this system into eastern Nova Scotia, Cape Breton Island, having some poor visibility due to that heavier blowing snow, as well as into Newfoundland. We are going to see that heavy blowing snow throughout your day today, and some flurry activity for parts of Labrador. In terms of the afternoon, we will be seeing some sunny breaks across New Brunswick for some parts of the southwestern region of Nova Scotia. Other than that, still dealing with some heavier snowfall for Cape Breton and Newfoundland. Taking us into early Tuesday morning, we are going to see the system clear out of the Maritime regions. Is dealing with some light snowfall, flurry activity as we inch towards early Tuesday. Still dealing with that heavier snow into Newfoundland. If you're wondering about snowfall totals, this is additional to what we received Sunday night into early Monday morning. Looking at around 1 to 5 centimeters for parts of Nova Scotia, the heaviest being to North Mountain, 10 to 15 centimeters. Only 1 to 5 centimeters of accumulation for parts of Labrador, and then the heaviest being 15 to 30 centimeters of accumulation for St. John's, Newfoundland. For the southern region of New Brunswick, we will be seeing a bit of flurry activity that will clear out, leaving mainly cloudy skies to a mix of sun and cloud across the province. Daytime highs will range from minus 6 to 0, and wind gusts of 50 kilometers per hour. For Prince Edward Island, a few flurries across the island today, minus 3 to minus 2 degrees, wind gusts of 60. And then for Cape Breton, eastern Nova Scotia, we are going to see that heavier blowing snow. So as I mentioned, visibility could become an issue today. Daytime highs will range from minus 3 to plus 1. For the rest of Nova Scotia, a few flurries throughout the day, but clearing for the most part into the afternoon, leaving mainly cloudy skies. Highs between minus 3 to minus 1. Labrador City, lots of sunshine throughout your day with a high of minus 14 degrees. We do have flurries returning into the evening. 2 degrees for St. John's, Newfoundland. Heavy blowing snow throughout your day as well. So for Tuesday's forecast, a bit of a cloudier day ahead for much of Atlantic Canada. A bit of flurry activity for parts of Prince Edward Island, Nova Scotia. Into Wednesday afternoon, we will be seeing a bit of flurry activity for parts of all 3 maritime provinces. Flurries increase into the evening hours, taking us into early Thursday. Going to still be dealing with a bit of flurries. That's a look at your weather. We'll throw things over to Crystal.
Thank you so much, Atavia. Now, if all this winter weather is dragging you down, it might be time to give yourself something to look forward to. Or, for that matter, you might want to just make a few changes around the house to bring some brightness into your day. Joining us now is our partner, Rachel Node, a lifestyle contributor with some great ideas to bring a little winter cheer into your life. Good morning, Rachel.
Good morning. I don't know about you, but I'm over it.
Oh my gosh.
Bad case of the winter blues.
We have so much. We're only February 2nd. Gosh, we've got even more winter to look forward to. So yeah, if we're looking for some ways to just sort of bring a little light into our life, what do you suggest?
When we talk about the winter blues, we're often talking about our mood. And for a lot of us, it's the day-to-day stuff in our house that can really get us down. And, you know, think about it. We're spending less time outdoors, more time indoors. That means more mess, more smells, and sometimes more dust in the air, which can, you know, for pet owners, it just gets amplified. For cat owners, it means their litter boxes are working overtime. There could be more mess, more smell, and more dust in the air. That's why I think a lot of cat owners will love this Litter Genie light clumping cat litter. It's made from naturally sourced Canadian bentonite clay. It absorbs odor, but it's also 20% lighter than traditional litter. So you get a nice pour without sacrificing volume. It's also 99.9% dust free, and it absorbs ammonia in minutes. So it keeps your house smelling nice and feeling nice, the air feeling nice. You know, couple this with a Litter Genie pail, litter box, and refills, and you just get a really compatible system to simplify your litter routine. And you can grab this at PetSmart and Canadian Tire and Amazon.ca.
Okay, we got about 2 minutes left, Rachel. You've got some wonderful looking bathing suits in front of you. That's fun. We can dare to dream.
If you're lucky enough to be going away this winter, you're going to want some new swimwear. Living on Rose is my absolute go-to because they have such great styles to suit everybody and everybody. I'm loving this collection because it has lots of printed styles as well as vibrant colors and textures. This gingham suit's going to be really popular this year, as well as the striped palm set. And I'm loving the pink skirt palm swimwear. You can shop these all at your local Living on Rose.
Yeah, wonderful stuff. Prices are great, quality very high.
Yes.
I know from my experience. Yeah, it looks so cute. Okay, if we're able to get away, where should we look into going?
If you're looking to get some sun in the skies and some light in your child's eyes, Orlando is a perfect family-friendly destination. I first went when my son was a little guy. He still talks about it because of the great experience. And we're going to go again now that he's 19. And I can't wait to experience it again with him. I want to check out the new theme park called Epic Universe. But of course, you can do fun, exciting activities like ziplining over alligators or kayaking with manatees. If you have younger kids, meeting your favorite Disney character is always a thrill. That's the beauty of Orlando. It just grows with you. You never get tired of it. And of course, it's easy to get to, too, because there's direct flights out of major Canadian cities. And then once you're there, there's plenty of family-friendly resorts to choose from, making it an easy, accessible, and unforgettable getaway. Check it all out at visitorlando.com.
I love the Orlando area. There's a lot on offer beyond the theme parks for sure. All right, and I think there's one more destination you wanted to mention.
Yeah, if you want a more luxe experience, Trobu Tulum is a luxury, all-inclusive villa concept. It's perfect for families and couples and groups. It's the first hotel in the Trobu Boutique collection, and it has a butler service. So it'll help visitors book opportunities and events, whether that's mixology classes, pizza making classes, wellness classes, or if you want to visit the cenotes on site, there's a fitness center, a yoga center, on site pizza restaurant and cafe and more. Each villa has an infinity pool. It's amazing. It's got deck chairs. It's got a terrace. It's got a fully stocked kitchen, but you can order, breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks all day long. And it's got 3 bedrooms, 3.5 bathrooms. So it'll sleep 8, which is perfect because if you are going with a big group, it works out to be $145 per person per night, which is an amazing deal, I think, considering all the amenities you're getting.
Well, Rachel, thank you so much for sharing these wonderful ideas and put them on the bucket list.
Thank you so much.
That was lifestyle contributor and our partner, Rachel Node. It is now 8:52. We'll take a little break. We'll dream for the next 2 minutes or so, and then we'll come back and wrap up the show right after that.
Welcome back. It is Groundhog Day, so we thought we would ask, what are some superstitions that you believe in or are top of mind for you?
Yeah.
We've got some fun ones. We'll start with Carrie from Cape Breton, who says, never rock a rocking chair with nobody in it.
Ooh, I've never heard that.
Oh.
That sounds
very ghostly.
Yeah, exactly.
Joyce from Port William says, my mother always told us never point when you're in a graveyard. I don't know why, but it's still stuck with me, and I'm 80 years old.
Ooh.
Wow. Ooh, it's amazing what stays with you. Cookie from Inverness says, dress your head before your feet. Disappointment you will meet. Have you heard of that one? No. Another one I even have my grown adult boys do is, if you forget something in the house, you have to sit down for 3 seconds before you leave again.
Wow. Really? Oh my gosh. Sheesh. My gosh, we'd never get out of the house in my house.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Trish from Beaverbank says, okay, this one I've heard. Nurse superstitions here. Totally believe in full moon madness and never ever say it's quiet.
I've heard of this too on Grey's Anatomy.
Oh, yes. People in my life are healthcare workers, and they all say the same thing, especially if they work in the emergency department. Full moon, something happens.
Yeah.
Faye from Sackville says, I believe that seeing a cardinal is a visit from an angel.
Yes, I actually do believe that.
Yeah, that's a big one too. Also, finding a dime on the ground is a visit from an angel. Needless to say, I believe in angels.
We love that.
I love those.
Yeah, some really nice.
In our case, it's the dime means that someone from the other side has a little message for you.
Oh, I love that. Well, the message from us is to have a great day.
Yes, stay safe and warm. See you tomorrow morning.
Bye. Thanks for joining us.